Quality, innovation, respect, and integrity. Take steps to invest in your career. International Management Consultancy is the leading global marketplace for learning and instruction, helping professionals across the industry to develop skills and expertise to get recognition and growth in the corporate world. We are one of the leading training providers and gradually spreading our training facility amongst candidates based at different geographies, such as Canada, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Lebanon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, India, and many other countries across the globe. IMC is accredited by the highest industry standards. We put in the efforts and we work to prove our commitment to offering our clients only the best and of superior quality. With a uniquely immersive curriculum that combines live instruction from the leading experts, peer-to-peer collaboration, on-demand lessons, unlimited online trainings, and 24/7 learning support. IMC helps over thousands of professionals learn their skills needed to advance their careers and reach their full potential. In line with our commitment to excellence, IMC offers a number of training courses preparing professionals for certifications and exams given by the international associations in areas like management, finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, quality administration, and as well as project management. By fully attending these courses and successfully completing the requirements of the certifying body, participants will receive a special certificate which recognizes their dedication and commitment and in many cases help them earn valuable continuing education credit. IMC Consultants has been working together with their clients from various industries in aligning their people and processes to compete through high speed, excellent quality, and low cost. We strongly believe that the key to our success is our total commitment in delivering value to our clients based on integrity, honesty, and openness. If you are uncertain about which roles or skills are best for you, hurry! Come visit our website or talk to our expert education consultants today. Take a step, invest in your future, empower your knowledge, and be one of our success stories. International Management Consultancy, excellence is what we deliver.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Would request you to please confirm in the chat.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Perfect. All right. So,
yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So I guess, okay, let me just quickly check with the host. All right, perfect. Now got the rights. So before we get going with today's session, let me welcome you all for the day one of our Lean Six Sigma Masters class. It's going to be a long journey with every one of you. So my name is Shashi Prakash. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. And just a very brief introduction about myself. I have roughly 21 plus years of work experience by now. And if I talk about my current engagements, most of my engagements happens to be in the Middle East, specifically Qatar, specifically the UAE region, and some of my clientele is based out of Europe. Yes, I do a lot of corporate consulting globally for Fortune 500 companies. I've delivered these trainings for most of the institutions in India in terms of the people joining from India would recognize the IITs and IIMs. The training that we're going to go through, we have delivered exactly the same trainings with all these prestigious institutions globally. I have been doing all the trainings in Qatar University for government, Qatar government, for all the government officials. They get it done through Qatar University. So primarily my area of expertise has been into Lean Six Sigma. That's the only thing what I do. I'm a registered project management practitioner. See, the only thing I can teach you is about how Lean Six Sigma can be practiced. So it's going to be a different ball game altogether. The time that we'll be spending in this 30 hours program will be more from a project-based model. So I'm sure we all must have gone through this video. We would have seen certain vital things I would like to talk about before we get going with the topics. It's important to highlight certain things which we saw that in the video about IMC's accreditation. Like, so when I talk about in real world, when people take up Lean Six Sigma training and they pass the exam, they get the certification. In real world, when we talk to the recruiters, see, when I hire for my project, when I hire for clients, or generally when we talk to recruiters and stakeholders globally, the biggest challenge is when the recruiters have immense dissatisfaction in terms of people who have theoretical knowledge, but don't know which tool needs to be used. The practical implementation of it, yes, I might talk about the tools. You might have a list of 20 tools or 30 tools that you might have learned, but that's just more of a theoretical knowledge. Applying that to the real world principles, well, real world challenges is the missing link. The transition of theory to practical is the missing link. So what we're going to take care of during this training is to make sure that you're industry ready. So you may not see any presentation. So because as a Lean Six Sigma professional, it's a practitioner's job. Somebody will give you a task to solve a business problem. We generally deal with the stakeholders like CEOs, CXOs, CTOs. Every industry has their different challenges and they have different ways of solving it. But Lean Six Sigma happens to be one primary choice nowadays because it fits in every industry. Well, it's not restricted to industry. It doesn't have any foundation in terms of industry, department, domains. So technically, there's no looking back if you get your concepts right. I come from a service industry background. Until 2014, I was engaged in the corporate sector. But since 2014, I've been doing active management training and consulting. The industries ranges from construction, definitely because it's Middle East, a lot of things are going on. We talk about oil and natural gas. We have clients from hospitality, healthcare, data centers we are currently working with. We've worked with BPOs, pharmaceutical companies, publication houses, tea gardens. Practically, it's no limit. And when I talk about industries, when it doesn't have a limit, forget about departments. So whether you're coming from an operations background, finance, marketing, it has no foundation. So all in all, what I want you to keep in mind is that you are trying to invest your time in such a skill set, which is in demand and which will get, the demand is getting bigger and bigger with the time, thanks to the so-called the COVID situation, which has made things even more worse. And that's why the demand of skilled Six Sigma professionals is getting bigger and bigger. So I would like to kind of translate whatever I have learned in this, my journey in Lean Six Sigma, because I prefer to be master of one rather jack of all trades. So this is only the thing what I do. I would like to kind of give you a quick preview of what we would like to go through in this journey. So number one, we will talk about the certification. You are getting the certificate. You will be getting a certificate from IMC. Does it matter? Where do you take the certification from? In real world? Yes. Recruiters do value this kind of certification that you get from which institution are you getting that certificate. It matters in real world scenario. On that note, IMC would weigh a lot because it has good reputation in the market. Recruiters do love IMC's certification because of the accreditations, the standard we have been able to maintain. So while you're watching that video, you must have seen the accreditation. One is the Council for Six Sigma Certification, which is based out of USA. Then there is International Quality Federation, which is based out of USA. Then there is IASSC, which is based out of UK. That's again an accreditation body. And then you have CPD accreditation, which is again UK based. Most of the European universities, they take CPD accreditation, and IMC has accreditation like from everyone. So practically, we have been able to maintain that valuation in terms of certificate. When you carry that certificate, yes, it has the worth in the market. So that's on the certification part. So when you get the certificate, yes, that's an entry to a job interview. You definitely get, when somebody looks at the certification, that definitely puts a lot of weightage. Then comes the knowledge part of it. So one is that you have taken up a theory-based training where you, but remember, in real world, you're not going to solve a theory. You're going to solve a problem. That has to be learned the practical way. So an outcome, I would like to rather show it to you, a quick one. And people are still working out in previous batches. So this is a green belt, black belt, doesn't matter, but how a typical Six Sigma project would look like. This is done by people who have taken up the training. So it's this level of understanding is what I would like to see, because a real world project would exactly look like this. Well, you might have a format change and some sort of beautification, but all in all, what you need to understand is, if I give you a problem, if I give you data, how do you solve it with Six Sigma? And that's how it would look like in real world. Analysis, which is full of your project management tools, quality management tools, statistics, everything packed together is your Lean Six Sigma. So when we talk about this, all these things, if you have developed this level of understanding, when there is no looking back, because you exactly know how it needs to be done, which tool will be used in what scenario, everything is crystal clear. So I would talk about this project-based part of it, because it is something which people work upon once they complete the training. So I will be sharing data, and I will go and talk about all those things as we move forward. But typically, we will be sharing data files. What's the journey? What's the protocol? How you go about working on these things? We'll talk about a couple of important things before we actually get going with the topics. So number one, we talked about the certification part, which is going to be coming from IMC. Secondly, as I talked about the project related stuff. So once you pass a certificate, you get a certificate. But once you submit a project, a simulation project like this one, we will be sharing data, and there will be some data which I will be sharing with you today itself. This is a sample reference project for you to have an idea how a project should look like. And these are some of the practice files which we'll be working upon. In real world scenario, when you work on a project, as you go forward, we'll understand the data that you get from different sources. Any kind of problem could fall into these three types of problems. So we have all those necessary files for you to practice. So we will be doing it practically during this training program. So these files I'll be sharing. We'll be working on these files as we move forward. So I'll be sharing that, and people use these files to create a project. So this is one of the project there, and even for prior batches, people are still working on. So we do keep working on those simulation projects also. Yes, Oliver, you have a question.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a couple of questions. I'd like to know, like, if you can give us, how can I say, like topics before we come into the class, so I can prepare and take more notes during the process.
Okay.
Is that going to be given to us?
We'll be talking. No, we'll be. So basically how it works, like when today's, because it's the first day, it's more from an introduction perspective. Yes, introduction to Lean Six Sigma. So some of the topics will get covered, but by the time we end the session, you will have a list of the topics which will be covered in the subsequent sessions. So I do prepare that checklist.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because it's better if I can prepare for the lesson and then
Perfect.
I can,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Mr. Mohammed, you have a question. Would you recommend opting for an IACC certification? Honestly, not required. But is there a harm in taking it up? No, absolutely not. But do you need it? The answer is no, because certification, the IMC certificate is globally accepted. Practically don't need an extra certificate, but if you want to go for it, there's no harm. This is absolutely fine. You can go for IACC as well. Okay, what is the main difference between PMP and Lean Six Sigma? Well, okay, they're two different, absolutely two different stuff. But yes, let's talk about it briefly. So when we talk about PMP, it's a project management practitioner. It's all about project management skills that are taught and in detail. So a project manager can use those tools and techniques taught in PMP syllabus to carry out a project. When we talk about Lean Six Sigma projects are done. So you can use the PMP knowledge to carry out a Lean Six Sigma project. So PMP knowledge can generally be applied on any project. Lean Six Sigma is a type of a project where basically when you're applying Lean Six Sigma tools and techniques, well, within the Lean Six Sigma, the PMP knowledge is also used. So when we go through, we'll see that while we work through Lean Six Sigma stuff, a lot of topics of PMP will be covered in Lean Six Sigma. So generally, people who are Lean Six Sigma professionals, they take up PMP, and people who are in PMP, they find Lean Six Sigma more lucrative. So, okay, let's quickly. Okay, I can share some case studies about it, Mr. Mohammed, about construction. There's certain sample files that we can work on the simulation one, but I can share some sample like a simulation, like case studies where people have applied this Lean Six Sigma in various industries. So we can find construction related stuff there. Okay, Vineet has a question. Is it mandatory to do a project from sample problem? Okay, is it okay? Can I submit a past problem statement? Okay, see, you can definitely share that. Having said that, see, the reason I was talking about a project, because you will be able to apply all those tools and techniques, the statistics used. So you will have a practical understanding. So when you're talking about Kaizen, Kaizen may not be, you will not have used all those statistics related stuff. So yes, you can still use that. Having a project done is not mandatory. When you write the exam, you get the certificate. You are Lean Six Sigma black belt or green belt. Practically, that's what is required. If you submit a project, you get an extra certificate, which says that you have completed a simulation project. So that's an extra certificate, but it's not mandatory to do a project. You will be simply taking up this training. You'll be writing an exam. When you pass the exam, you get the certificate. Getting a project done will get you another certificate about project completion. Is the exams going to be green? Okay, is the exams on the green going to be statistics? Yes, green belt, black belt, both will have statistics portion covered by default. How Lean Six Sigma and construction material? Well, as we go through, Rajesh, we'll see everywhere it's applied. So as we go through, we understand the philosophy about implementation of Six Sigma, because it is getting done. So I'll share, to cut the long story short, I'll share like list of case studies where people have applied Six Sigma in various industries. You can have a look at it and you'll find at least your industry out there, because it covers everything. So so there are two things. So just let me clarify, just to make sure we aren't like if in case you I hope you all have understood it correctly. Number one, when you write the exam, so you get certificate like your Lean Six Sigma green belt or Lean Six Sigma black belt just by passing the exam. Doing a project is not mandatory. It's your choice. But I would highly recommend that when you complete the project, you get an extra certificate that you've completed a project. So it is, we will be sharing the project data. So yes, we will be sharing that. We need to practice on the statistics. Don't worry about the statistics part. We'll be doing everything from the scratch here. Don't worry about that. How to apply for more quality control, everything. So I'm sure like I can share that details about the case studies, how people have applied. Any which was when we go through the training program, you will see all these dots connecting all together. So I'm sure it'll be easy to understand and relate, because it is applied. People are using. Let me quickly show it to you. I am not sure, like will take a lot of time, but let me quickly take a moment. Just give me one quick second. All right, I should have it here. Case studies zip file. Okay, not this one. All right, give me one quick second. Just 1 second. Let me show it to you. All right, like this is the one, I guess. All right, I got it. Let me share my screen once again. Okay, here, have a look at this. I will be sharing some of these, this entire, I don't mind sharing all of these are different, like when we talk about construction, see, these are some case studies, how people have applied Lean Six Sigma there. Already it's getting done. So there are different industries. I'll share the entire folder. Have a look at it. Whatever industry you relate with, I'll have a look at it. It gives you more in understanding. I'll share all the material. All right. So that's the one. All right. So perfect. Is it Matt? Let me come back to the questions and we can move on with that. Can we attend the exam only for green by, well, I would request you not to get into the exam part. Wait for some time. We'll talk about those exam thing. It's easy. Don't worry about the exam. It won't be a big deal. It's mandatory to be expert in maths. Absolutely not. I'm bad at maths. Trust. So if I'm doing it, everyone can do it. Don't worry about that. Application case studies with, yeah, it is there. Betsy, it's there. It's there. Perfect. All right. Let's then move forward. So we wanted to kind of have a look at certain things. Now, before we get going, one more thing, which is definitely left over to talk about. While we go through this, we will be doing extensive training on Minitab. So when we go through a job interview today in current world, all corporates want people who are well versed with Minitab also. Now, what's Minitab? It's the most advanced statistical software used globally, and all corporates want. I do a lot of training for a lot of corporates globally, only for Minitab. So people who have done Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt or Black Belt, and they have never worked on Minitab. And it is what every corporate wants, because they have to spend a lot of money, and these Minitab training is expensive. So when we conduct this training, so while we go through this training program, we will be covering Minitab extensively. So don't need to worry about it, because while you were seeing that with small bit of project sample file, that all those template, those images, all what you were seeing, the analysis was all done on Minitab. These results that you see here, these are all Minitab driven. So globally, all corporates are, I will be talking about when it's absolutely easy to work on Minitab. It's what is the need of the hour. Minitab is a paid software, but we get a 30 days trial version, free trial version, but trial version is a full version. But I would highly recommend not to try downloading Minitab now, because you cannot install Minitab once anymore. So once you exhaust the 30 days, so you cannot install Minitab on a mobile phone. You cannot do it on a tab. You need to have a proper laptop or a desktop. So if you have multiple laptop, desktop, then you can try doing it. But it comes with a 30 days trial version only, and you cannot reinstall. So I would tell you when is the right time to install Minitab. I'll share the link for you to download Minitab, so you can utilize those 30 days. When you know how to use it, you got to learn something. Otherwise, it just looks like a Excel template sort of thing. So I would request you, even if you like, you can go to the Minitab site, you can download a copy, but I would request you not to do it. Otherwise, you lose out on valuable days. Every 30 days it will take like, so it's the trial version is a full version. It's not a limited version. Trial version is a full version. All right. I'll share the link how to download it, but I'll come back myself and let you know what's the right time to download it. Okay, your counselors can guide you with reference to examination related stuff. We can talk about it. Yes, we'll be kind of, we'll take that up a little later. Vinish, it may not be possible. Okay, let's see how things progress, because even to do a green belt, you have to go through complete 10 days program, because we go through the entire program. You have to, because it's not like segregated like a green belt first and black belt. It's all we're doing from the scratch, from 0 to 100%. So in a black belt content, everything is covered, your green belt content. So you have to wait for all the 10 days to attempt your assessment. You cannot try out just the green belt initially, because there will be some portion which will be left over. I hope you understand that. All right, perfect. Perfect. We can. All right, so we are good to go then, pretty much. All right, thank you. So I guess we are good to go. Let's get started now. just a basic stuff which we definitely need to cover it up initially before otherwise. All right, Mr. Abu, I guess you probably joined in late. Well, I am a master black belt, and I do this like I've roughly about 21 plus years of experience. So I've been doing this Lean Six Sigma management training and consulting since 2014, actively 100%. Before that, I was engaged in corporate sector in the service sector specifically. But since 2014, it's been almost every possible industry like we have covered. So it doesn't and that's the beauty of Lean Six Sigma. It helps you learn how to kind of use your knowledge and marshal your resource, the skills learned in every possible industry. It doesn't have a foundation. As you move forward, I'm sure that will get more clear. Yes, so after this 10 days training, you will be good to appear for your green belt and black belt. Perfect. So as a regular ritual, yes, it generally takes about initial half an hour to go through these basic whereabouts, some bit of questioning. So we will, and I'm sure everyone is connected on the WhatsApp group. In case you're not connected on the WhatsApp group, I would request you to connect with your program coordinator at IMC and please join the WhatsApp group, because that will serve as a common platform where we are still connected during the training or after the training also. So please do connect there. And if you have any questions after the class also, you can post it there. All right. So on that note, let's, it's a complete one. This one is a complete master's class, is complete green and black belt, all covered at one go. So we're starting from zero, going till the 100%. It is absolutely possible. So we are doing these trainings at college level also. So it's absolutely fine. All right. Freshers, this no longer nothing called freshers. Corporates come to colleges and they want people who are ready. So it's absolutely fine. All right. Okay, I guess we all good to get started now. So let's get started. The first thing first. Okay. In case if somebody has done some bit of research work or has gone through some bit of material, is Lean Six Sigma one word or two different words? Is it one word or two different words? Two different words.
Two words.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes.
Lean means fast.
Okay. Perfect. So let's get started with Lean then. Okay. Let's talk about Lean. Now, when we talk about Lean, well, first is Lean is skimming. Okay. What else would you like to, I would like to understand the basic definition of what do you mean by Lean? If somebody would ask.
Eliminate the wastages.
I'm sorry?
So lean is basically the identifying the waste in the process to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the regular processes, and identifying how to eliminate the waste.
To speed up the process. To speed up the process.
Perfect. So good to see the messages and good to see all those responses. We all write about that. So thanks everyone. I'm just going to put that definition all together. Just trying to put that together, just to get a formal definition out of it. Let's go and put it together. It's identification and elimination of waste from the process to increase efficiency without compromising on the quality of product or service. Okay, let's kind of understand this. What do you mean by this? Like we've written a statement. What do we mean by that? Say I have a process where either I'm manufacturing a product or I'm delivering a service to the customer. So I have a department A where there's some bit of activities are done in department A. The output of department A goes to department B. Now the department B starts working on it. Now our output of B goes to C. Output of C goes to D. And finally, the last process step I have as department E. I will be sharing all the notes. Yes, absolutely. So A, B, C, D, E, various departments, and every department has some bit of activities which are done. So it takes me about 15 days time, hypothetically 15 days time to complete this entire process. So I get a product at the end of 15 days, or I get some services delivered to the customer. Now, what Lean says that try and understand this process in and out. try and use your lean knowledge. And based on your lean knowledge, you go and identify which of those activities that you're doing in this process, say department A, department B, what all activities can you call that as waste? Now we will have to understand that it's early, but yes, with the knowledge of lean tools and techniques, you would be able to identify certain activities that we do, and every process, every organization has such waste in the system. So technically, say hypothetically, we figured out that this step is a waste. Say there's some activities in this process step is a waste. Okay, I guess Mr. Zafar, I'm sharing the video. I'm just sharing the screen. I hope you all able to see my screen.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes,
It's an Excel sheet that we're working on right now. All right, perfect. All right, so and okay, you can't see the screen. Let me share it again. Let's have let me know if it's okay with you now. Can you see the screen now? I've just reshared it.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right. Mr. Zafar, you're not able to see that? Okay, so Mr. Zafar, it's visible to everyone. I don't see if it's a latency issue at your end, which is why you're not able to see the screen or what. I think it is visible. Okay, perfect. All right, so hypothetically, say we have this process step B, which is something what we can call as a waste. And similarly, we figured out that the step number B is also something which we can call as a waste. Just a hypothetical situation. Some of those activities in these two process steps can be called as waste. So what it says, identify the waste. So first job is to look at your process end to end and identify, is there a waste in your process or not? So you figured out some waste in the process. What do you do then? You simply eliminate the waste. Now, my process looks like this. It's a short trimmed process, a fat process which had waste in it, not been trimmed. Now, it barely takes me 10 days time to complete this entire process. Anything which was unwanted, which as per lean is a waste, was eliminated. Simple as that. This is all what we do in lean. We look at a process and then we identify the waste in the process based on lean principles, based on lean knowledge. We identify the waste and we then eliminate the waste. And this is all about lean. Trust, it cannot be made any difficult. Lean is this simple. You look at your process and you identify the waste and eliminate the waste. While you do this, remember, not at the cost of the quality of the product or service. So whatever quality the customer was enjoying at the end of 15 days should be the same. So it doesn't mean that you want to implement lean and you will compromise with the quality of product or service. No, that's not what is permissible. You cannot compromise on the quality. That's simple as that. So we have to simply identify the waste and trust. I cannot teach you anything about lean. Why? Because you all know lean. You all have been practicing lean. It's just that we may not be practicing it with a purpose. We may not have been doing it in a structured format. We may not have been doing it in generally everyone practices lean on ad hoc basis. We don't track the improvement. So when you have this knowledge of lean tools and techniques, you will start implementing that knowledge that you already have in a structured approach. You will start quantifying it. You will have tangible benefit out of that. And that's what you will be able to show to the management, that this is before I implemented lean and this is the after implementation of lean. All what is going to happen is all about awareness of tools and techniques and how to put that in a real world scenario in a structured approach. That's what you're going to be doing. And as I said, trust, there is nothing different in this. Everyone, each and everyone has practiced lean in some shape or form. And let me quickly let's kind of complete this and quickly play a short video just to kind of elaborate on that. Let's have a quick look at this. First of all, lean is all about speed of the process. It just goes with the logic. Can you deliver the product or service faster? That's what it looks for. Lean is all about that. This is what we want. By implementation of lean, we want to serve the customer faster. The entire purpose is about time, speed. Can you deliver the product or service faster? How would you do it? By eliminating the waste. So since you want to cut down the time, you have to identify the waste and remove the waste. Let's have a quick look at the video that I was talking about, and it will be a lot more easier for us to understand. We already know it. We haven't discussed any. Let me quickly stop sharing. I have to share with the audio also again. Let me share it with audio so you can. Let me share it with audio. I will just confirm in the chat if you can hear the audio now. Is it audible? Perfect, perfect. Now I'm closing the chat now, and please just watch out the video. Remember, our purpose of lean is to serve the customer faster. We have to deliver the product or service to the customer faster. We have not discussed any tools and techniques, nothing. But let's understand, do we already know lean? Let's check this out.
Toaster on the right, this is the front of the toast.
We are tracking every single step, every single activity, and we also track the time with how many minutes, how many seconds did we spend on every activity. It's closely observing every single process step. Every single thing that we're doing here is adding time. Every single thing, even this waiting part. Goodness.
Hey Steve, did you want that toast plain?
No. Hey, about the,
I got it.
about the,
I got it.
about the butter?
No, I got it.
Rach, no, really, about the butter.
Okay, here you go.
Rach, one piece would have been plenty. I really wanted jelly on it.
All right. So I hope none of us has any confusions about it. What could have been done better? I'm sure we all have few answers that we could have done better in this one.
Yeah, there's been a
Yeah,
lot.
customer not satisfied, sir. Yeah.
Customer was definitely not satisfied. First things, lady should have taken the feedback from the customer, like what is the customer looking for. She had no idea what she was doing. A lot of things could have been changed in terms of the layout, how things could have been organized. Absolutely a chaos environment as we see. Definitely lack of proper planning. There are a lot of things which should have been done. We all can see this video and understand what is not right. It's just common sense. Lean is as simple as that. Look at every process step and identify every process step. Is this a value-added activity? So all we got to understand is how to identify whether I will call this activity as a value-added or I'll call this as waste. That's all what we got to understand. And that's what we'll learn, how to structure this, when you look at your process, all you have to first track beginning till the end, every single activity, the time that you invest, and then apply the lean principles and then see how the first thing is to identify. It's always said that when you start measuring something, you will start seeing improvement. So it's the first thing is to identify how much of waste is sitting in your process as per lean principles. And then you go about eliminating the waste, and you keep doing it on an ongoing basis because you cannot eliminate all the waste in one day. It's always very important to keep, it's an ongoing process. It's a cycle which goes on and on, on and on, on and on. So we will get into the details about it. It's just the day one for us. And today's topics are more aligned with the yellow belt and we'll talk about all those belts today itself. So we'll understand what do we do at every belt, whether it's a yellow belt, whether it's a green belt or a black belt. We'll talk about that. So today's portion is more aligned with the yellow belt. That's all. But yeah, tomorrow onwards we'll get into a green belt and black belt kind of portion altogether. So yes, if anyone is finding my voice low, I would request you to please keep this in mind. I'm honestly shouting at the top of my voice. The voice is at your control. Here, if you can see, this is what you have to raise. It'll be all fine. So because I am generally speaking, so I keep the audio part like, so this is my speakers. So I don't need a speaker technically. So I keep it low, but you can raise this particular bar and that will be fine. All right. Now, perfect. Let's have a look at, so lean, I hope it's okay and clear with everyone. Basic understanding, details, any which we will get into it later. Okay. But first thing first, lean is the core tool of lean is observation. What you see is what you fix with lean. Simple as that. Lean is purely observation based. The only tool that we apply here is observation. You have to go and start looking at your process from the beginning till the end. The only tool and technique that we can talk about is observation. Start looking at your process. So we'll get into details later, but that's what is the basic crux, observation. When I talk about Six Sigma, honestly, I won't say, unless you are already into the zone of quality management and all that role, yes, some of it you might already know, but in detail, getting that understanding will definitely be more interesting. Lean is very simple, but trust is very difficult to achieve the objectives of lean because it's simple. Since it's simple, people will not value it. We will always give it a second priority. And that's why it's very difficult in real world to attain the foundation level of lean itself. So in real sense, when we talk about organizations where you will see excellent lean culture, you will see that Six Sigma will do wonders there. Lean is the foundation. If company has a bad lean culture, Six Sigma will struggle badly. So remember, lean is simple, very effective, and it serves as a foundation for Six Sigma to work. And as we go forward, we'll understand the relationship. There are two different methods, but they always complement each other. Remember, the foundation is always the lean. So without any doubt, I can say this is non-negotiable. This is hygiene for every organization. Whether you want to do a Six Sigma project or not, it's your choice. Lean is not a choice. It has to be done. Coming to Six Sigma, anyone would like to pitch in? What do we mean by Six Sigma? What do we mean by Six Sigma as such?
Minimizing the errors in the process.
Minimizing errors, perfect. That is 100% correct. Any other?
Six Sigma, study about variations.
Absolutely. Unless you give me the word variation, trust, it's not about me. I understand when you say errors, you will say a lot of other things. It's all fine. Answers are absolutely fine. Standard values, quality, everything is fine. But remember, in real world, when you face a job interview, like when you talk about lean, this has to be kept in mind. The word from, see, when you're sitting through a job interview, the recruiter may not be a Six Sigma professional, could be a general HR person who's been given a checklist of questions. And these words, the words, if even if your answer is correct, but if it does not have that specific word, the person will find it incomplete. So it's always, remember, when we talk about lean, always ensure these basic words are always captured. When you talk about Six Sigma, the most important word is variation. So right now, I'm just trying to kind of rephrase the statement. And yes, it's a statistical approach. It's a data-driven approach, statistical approach to reduce variation. That's the most important word, because Six Sigma reduces variation. We'll talk about what is variation. That's defects. To increase effectiveness. We'll talk about why it's called Six Sigma. Everything, we'll get that clarity. To effectiveness of the process. Let's understand. Let's break the sentence down. So what do you mean by effectiveness, first of all? Let's break this one. When we say effectiveness, it's a fancy term. Yes, nothing other than quality. So very simple stuff. If your defects reduces, we'll talk about variation, but general sense. If you reduce your defect, obviously your quality improves. Increase quality. Effectiveness is quality. So if your defects reduce, your quality improves. But how do you reduce the defect is what we're trying to understand. Okay, let's understand the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. You enhance the efficiency of an existing product or service. So what are you trying to enhance? Efficiency. Efficiency in terms of cost. Your cost efficiency has, your process efficiency has become more efficient because it's working with less cost, less of effort, less. So it has become more efficient. Number one. So cost, effort, resources, raw material, etc. So all those things will be, it has become more efficient than it was earlier. So you're trying to raise the bar. That's what, in terms of given the prior performance, it has become more efficient. Effectiveness is all about quality against a certain parameter. How you've been doing, what is your quality? This is what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Let's get back to the variation part. Variation will cover it up, but have a look at this. When you say we reduce the defects in the process, we reduce the variation in the process, which increases the quality. But how do you do it is what matters. Statistical approach. It's a data-driven approach, analysis. Now, globally, everyone is getting crazy after data. You install one application, this application would want to access your contact, your messages. Why? Because data is what we refer as the data is the new oil. Everyone wants to capture data because People who will have control over data will control future. It's very important to understand that there are things which may not be solved with visual effect. What you can solve with lean is what you see. What you solve with Six Sigma is what you can't see but experience. It is solved with Six Sigma. Let's understand the context here. I have tried to solve a problem. I have been facing quality issues time and again. I have got a good team, subject matter expert, all technical experts. I solve the quality issues. The problems are gone. But after 3-4 months, problems resurface again. Again, get back with my team. I solve the problem. The problem again resurfaces after 2-3 months. So it seems like I've tried, tested, and failed everything. It gives me a temporary relief, but the problem reoccurs again. That's when we have to understand it's beyond what we see. Whatever was visible, we have tried, tested everything, we have failed. Lean related work has been done. There's something which is missing, and I can't figure that out. I have used all my experience, my knowledge, my experts, everything. I have no answers why the problem reoccurs. That's when you need Six Sigma. You can't see, you're not able to understand why, but you're experiencing it. You're facing the challenge. You have exhausted all your resources. When Six Sigma is applied, when you have exhausted all your resources, not in the first. So Six Sigma is not your first choice. It will be your last choice, because you always, so what you've been doing, please continue doing the same, but you have an extra tool. It's the last choice when you go for the kill. Practically, when you talk about Six Sigma, it is all about changing the game altogether. Well, let's understand first of all the variation part. Well, I have a client which gives me an order, for example, to manufacture, say, a white, my favorite example, whiteboard marker, and the length of the marker my client wanted was 5.5 inches long. That's the target given to me. And my team started manufacturing these markers. Let's say few markers are manufactured, and I'm trying to understand why is that happening. Sorry about that. Okay, these markers, the length of the markers is what I have here. Let me make some 5.5s here. Okay, is this 5.5? No, it's bigger than, it's more than 5.5. So that's a variation from 5.5. That's more than 5.5. Defect, it is defect in the eyes of customer. Is this 5.5? No, again, a variation from 5.5, more than 5.5, it will be defect. These are good. That's variation, but lesser side. It's less than 5.5, again a variation, again a defect. It's more than 5.5, less than 5.5, less than 5.5. Anything which is more or less than the target is a variation. That's variation from the target, plus minus from the target is a variation, and customer will treat that as a defect. When this problem reoccurs, I've tried, tested, and exhausted all my resources, and I'm not able to solve this problem. With this data collected, I will try my tools and techniques, the statistical knowledge, and I will figure out why this happens with the help of statistical tools and techniques, which we will learn as we move forward. So you will be able to find the reason why the defects are still happening. You will control that defects and your quality will improve. That's what we do. Data driven, complete analysis driven. You have data, you'll apply statistics and figure out why the problem is happening. If you know the problem, you'll always have a solution. The reason why this keeps coming back, because we have not been able to figure out what is the real reason. If you don't know the reason, then what solution would you have? Nothing. And that's what Six Sigma will help you exactly find out what is actually causing the problem, the root cause. Where is the underlying root cause? And at times, root causes are not visible. They're somewhere else, and you have to figure it out. And that's when Six Sigma will be applied. We will get into more details, but it's just the beginning for us. But just a quick question for everyone. If I say my process is working at Six Sigma level, has anyone done some bit of research? Yes, Vineet, you have a question. Vineet, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, sorry, I'll quickly, instead of typing and letting you read it, I'll quickly ask. So, like you said, what you can't see but experience is solved by Six Sigma, right?
Yeah.
And now my question is that wherever there is human dependency
Yes,
on the
yes,
processes or
yes.
any processes, businesses,
Absolutely.
is it the best? Is it the best to use Six Sigma? Because
100%.
that is an interchangeable thing, right?
Yes.
Human is an interchangeable thing,
Yeah.
and practice plus there are a lot of other factors to make meet standards when you start drawing that minimum variation line or control line for human related work, right? So
Absolutely. Yes.
is it the best tool to be used when there is too much of human dependency on the processes?
100%. I would always go with that, because see, that's what we need to control, because human error will always be there. And yes, you will see variations coming from human beings, and that's what we need to control. And we will see it generally happens when the process is people dependent, and all what you got to do is change that behavior to a process dependent behavior rather than people dependent behavior. So it will always be advisable to switch to a Six Sigma mode, where we get into some bit of methodology, which is process driven. So we follow those standards, we do it diligently. If there's any slightest variation, it will be caught. So you know for sure, well, we're going to pull it back. So it's I would always advise going with, if you have people dependent process, Six Sigma will be the best approach.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for this.
Thanks. And even the training part will be part of the Six Sigma approach only. So we shall add to this. Yeah, even applying the training methodologies, teaching people, training people will be part of Lean Six Sigma. In Lean Six Sigma implementation, you do a lot of trainings. So yes, you're empowering people, enhancing the skill set, everything will be part of your project. Moving on with this one, what is the performance level at Six Sigma? If I say my process is working at Six Sigma, okay, well, great. Naveen has given the answer, 3.4 defects per million opportunity. You are 100% right. 3.4 defects per million opportunities is what we refer as Six Sigma level. Generally, people call it as 3.4 DPMO. We will understand these terms. And it's also called 3.4 parts per million. We'll talk about that. Just will 3.4 ppm. Now, what does it mean? First of all, let's understand, when I say my process is working at Six Sigma level, it means that the process quality is at that level where my process would make a maximum of 3.4 defects in 1 million opportunities. For example, it was manufacturing this 1 million markers. The maximum probability of having a defective marker would be 3.4 in 1 million. It's almost like a zero defect. In 1 million markers that you manufacture, you will maximum defective markers probability is 3.4, which is just like a zero defect. It's barely nothing. So a quick one, is Six Sigma a phenomenal level? Definitely yes. It's a great level of performance. If your process is working at Six Sigma level, you're definitely one of the industry leaders, because it's very difficult to get to this level. Yes, companies are working at Six Sigma, but a quick question, yes, do we know what is my quality percentage at Six Sigma level? Anyone? This is in defect rate. We're talking about in terms of defect rate. What is a quality percentage?
99.996.
99.966%. You are 100% right. If your process is working at Six Sigma level, your quality will be at 99.99966%. Few numbers to memorize. We will learn everything, how to calculate why 3.4, why not something else. We will get to understand why 99.99966% at Six Sigma. We'll understand everything. At no point in time I will tell you like, okay, believe it because I'm saying no. Everything has a justification. But for now, remember, even if we have those understanding and clarification, still you have to memorize these numbers. These are purely related with Six Sigma, and you need to remember these numbers by heart, because these recruiters do ask this question during job interviews. They are fairly simple, but you must remember them. These are few numbers. I won't ask you to mug up too many things, but yeah, this is definitely important. Now, coming to a quick question. Well, generally people talk about 99% quality. Is 99% quality a good quality or bad quality in general? Is 99% quality a good one? Yeah, generally like treated as a good one. But when I say 99% quality, what is my pass percentage and what's my fail percentage? Let's look at it. Pass percentage means if I manufacture like 99, 100 markers, out of which 99 markers is a good one, and fail percentage, the rejected, the defective marker would be 1 out of 100. That's 99% quality. Technically, that's what we mean. Now, if I'm working at 99% quality, we manufacture 1 million markers, not 100. We manufacture 1 million markers. This is 1 million. 1 million marker. How many defective marker will I make at 99% quality? Just to understand. 6,000. No. 10,000. We'll have 10,000 defects. So if you cancel the zeros, you'll get 1 out of 100. So if you make 1 error out of 100, at the same rate, you'll make 10,000 errors out of 1 million. You just cancel the zeros. This is the number of defects we're talking about. And against that, now you put 6 sigma level. This is what we're talking about. Difference is unbelievable. 99% quality was a great quality, but once upon a time, it's bad. We will be history as an organization if you work with 99%. Gone are those days. Trust. We have moved a lot. Things have changed a lot globally. It's unbelievable. You would not get a second chance. We all have to understand as an organization, either we are manufacturing product or we are delivering a service. We all are options. Today, customer wants something, customer has so many choices. It was probably about 20 years ago. We had barely few options. Like you wanted a business phone, you probably would end up taking a BlackBerry. You needed probably a camera, you would end up buying a Kodak. But today, when you want something, you have so many options. Customer has become absolutely intolerant about defect. And that's why globally, all stakeholders are switching towards this concept. Six Sigma has got into demand because customers would not give you a second chance. If you're working with this level of defect rate, well, you are living dangerously. 10,000 defects out of 1 million, you are bad, really bad in current context. Okay, so this is almost like a zero defect, 3.4 in 1 million. Absolutely phenomenal. Globally, people, the stakeholders are looking for achieving this level because that's where you know for sure you will be an industry leader. Now, a good question that we definitely want to pick it up. Is Six Sigma the best Sigma level, or is it possible to get better than Six Sigma? Is it possible, or are the industries working at higher Sigma level?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It's possible.
Okay. Any industry that comes to your mind?
For space.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
Perfect. Yes. What is this Sigma level? Let's understand first. What is this Sigma level? It's a weird definition, but it is correct. It's a defect measuring scale. It doesn't measure how good you're doing. It measures your defect rate. And that's what a lot of us answered it in the first go. 3.4 defects in 1 million. It measures how bad you're doing. It doesn't measure how good you're doing. It tells you how bad you're doing. So Sigma level is a defect measuring scale. It's a scale, simple, which measures how many defects are you making. 0 Sigma, 1 Sigma, 2 Sigma, 3 Sigma, 4 Sigma, 5 Sigma, 6 Sigma, 7 Sigma, 8 Sigma, 9 Sigma. It doesn't end. It's a scale. It goes on and on, never ends. It's like any other scale. Scale to measure something. That's it. It's a scale to measure defect. Similarly, do you have negative? Absolutely, yes. We have negative Sigma, -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth. We have all those pluses and minuses. It goes both sides. Remember, Sigma level can be negative also. Let's understand this part. So first of all, we already know Six Sigma level, and these are simple stuff. We will be able to understand it very easily. But since it's early for us today, we may not get into too much of detail, but you don't have to memorize these things because you will be able to calculate everything. Everything will be done right here. So when my process just makes 3.4 defects in 1 million, I say you are operating at Six Sigma level. That's what we are referring to. This is benchmark, standard for everyone. That's the standard we want to achieve. Everyone wants to get to a Six Sigma level. But when there is already aviation working at 12 sigma. Your pharmaceutical industries are working at here. In NASA, your space programs and all, nuclear reactors, and few more selective industries who are working at 12 sigma, 11 sigma, 11 and a half sigma. There are a lot of industries like, but they're not, they're very specific, and these industries are very, very critical. Not the cement one, but these industries are very critical. Why? Because you cannot afford to have a mistake here. Six sigma is a good sigma for them? No, 6 sigma is horrible for them. Do you think, would I be happy to board a flight when I know 1 million flights that will take off, 3.4 might crash? Well, no, it's bad. Every single error is a big error. So many people can die. It's bad for them. Pharmaceutical industry, why there is so much of hue and cry about COVID vaccines? Why can't you just make vaccine and give it to everyone? No, one wrong vaccine and so many people can die. Error is just not acceptable. So these industries are critical ones. They cannot afford 6 sigma. It's bad for them. So technically what it means, as sigma level goes higher, defects goes down. So technically higher sigma level is good. That we have to keep in mind. Higher the sigma, better it is, because for these industries, it's you barely have any defects because you cannot afford a defect. For every, but given a given context, then why are we learning 6 sigma? Why don't we learn 12 sigma course? Why are we learning 6 sigma course? Basically, we will be, yes, there is a difference between PPM and DPM. We'll talk about it when we get to the portion of calculating sigma level. We'll get to the details of it. All right. But yeah, coming back to this 6 sigma part of it, when we say we have existing industries who are working with a higher performance level, why are we keeping 6 sigma standard? Why? Because beyond six sigma, it's almost impossible. I would say almost, not almost impossible to reduce any more defects. You need automation after this. Well, you definitely need automation, which is millions of dollars will be invested. So yes, you can get to a level of 6 sigma with project management tools, with quality management tools, with statistical tools, with basic tools that we already know. Yes, you can get to a level of 6 sigma without automation. Beyond this, yes, you definitely need automation. You need automation. Well, do you think this marker manufacturing company would like to go for automation? Like if it gets to a 6 sigma level, do you think this industry, if it's working at 6 sigma, would it be a logical approach to go for a automation to enhance the capability beyond 6 sigma? No. What is the cost of 3.4 markers? Nothing. But the cost of implementation will cost, to get the automation done, you will have to invest millions of dollars. And what will you save? The cost of 3.4 markers, nothing. So barring these industries which are critical, people will not go for automation. Getting to a level of 6 sigma will any which ways make you an industry leader. But these industries, yes, they are critical and you have to go for automation. They don't have a choice. For everyone, 6 sigma is standard, except these critical industries. On the contrary, we say if defect rate rather, not level, increases, sigma level drops. So higher the defect, lesser the sigma level. If your defect rate is 50%, you don't have to memorize, but good to know, 50%, you are at 0 sigma level. 50% defect rate will lead you to 0 sigma. So technically, if defect rate is more than 50%, sigma level will be negative. And we will check this out right now. We will, since we are in a master's program, we will learn to calculate sigma level manually using formula, using Minitab. We'll do a complete like as a master, as a black belt, you need to know every possible way. They'll really learn about a lot of methods, but just to make sure we're comfortable with the concept, we're comfortable with the topic, like we discussed about lean, we watched that video, we understood a fair bit of idea how lean has to be practiced. Basic idea. You look at your process, identify the waste. In terms of Six Sigma, it's all about numbers, it's all about calculations, it's all about analysis. Let's take a simple example. We will not get into explanation, but we will definitely work it out later. Let's take a simple example, how to calculate sigma level, and this is only one method. If somebody gives me a defect rate and wants me to calculate sigma level, there are different types of method. This is one of them, easiest, so I'm taking it up right now. Z for sigma, LT for long term. There's something called long term sigma. We cannot discuss what is long term sigma. We will discuss everything, but at a later stage. Z for sigma, ST for short term or current. We will understand everything current sigma. Now I'll write down the formulas how we calculate it, and we'll take up some examples. The formula is inbuilt in everyone's Excel, no separate plugin. Norm sin V, we'll understand what is that actually, but not right now, it'll be early. 1 minus defect divided by total, close the brackets. And this is short-term sigma is equal to the long-term that you calculate plus a fixed value of 1.5. Now, let me make it clear. We will have this discussion later on. We will have to understand the concepts at a ground level. We will discuss all of it. So what is long-term, what is short-term, we'll understand it later. This is the formula. What is norm sin V, we'll understand it. Why 1.5 is added? We will, 1.5 is a fixed value. Why 1.5, we'll also understand it. But for now, just understand, we will have to understand that because this is how it's done. Yes, only the explanation is left over. We'll calculate it. But remember, this is the calculated sigma level. This is used for communication and reporting. So whenever people talk about sigma level, they always talk in the language of current sigma level. This is used for communication and reporting. Nobody reports this sigma level. So when people talk, well, I'm talking to you and telling you my process sigma level, I'll always be telling you this. If I'm sending my reports to the management, I will be talking about this. This is all used for communication and reporting purpose. Let's take up some examples. I have, like, say 18% defect rate. What is my sigma level? Let's take some random numbers. So I'll apply the formula norm sin V 1 minus, what is the defect rate? 18 out of 100. 18% is 18 out of 100. Close the bracket, close the bracket. That is my long-term sigma. And I add 1.5, a fixed value. This is constant value of 1.5, doesn't change, but we'll have a justification for that, but later. It takes time, about half an hour, just to understand why 1.5. So we'll discuss that later. So I will say, when my process is working at 18% defect rate, my current sigma level is 2.41 sigma. That's what I will say. Let's take up 6 sigma. Why leave 6 sigma? 3.4 defects in 1 million opportunities. That's what we said. 6 sigma is 3.4. Let's check this out. Norm sin V 1 minus 3.4 defects in 1 million. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1.5 will give me 6 sigma level. So we never report the long term, we always report the current sigma level. So when we say, if your process is working at 3.4 defects in 1 million opportunity, you're making 1 million products and you barely have 3.4 defects, that's when you're working at 6 sigma level. So we always report the communication sigma, which is 6 sigma. Let's take up some more random numbers. I did some audit, and I went auditing. I found these many errors out of, so these many parts I audited. Some audit was done. Let's check the sigma level. Well, you can do sigma level for anything. Norm sin V 1 minus. Now, what's the error? 1564. Out of 654, 652.
652.
That's the sigma, and add 1.5 to it. Oops. 4.32 sigma. Simple. That's how it's so. All you need to understand, there are formulas, and you can check it out as we move forward with this. Is simple, but yeah, it's different. We'll come across a lot of formulas, a lot of methods. All we will have to do is practice it, and we'll be so you don't have to mug up anything. It's just about you try it out once or twice, you'll become habitual. It's interesting. Six Sigma journey is very fascinating, very interesting. Lean would be a little boring, well, be honest, because it's all what we know, what we already know. It's common sense. But when it comes to Six Sigma part, it will be interesting. Let's pick up a couple of more. Let's see about negative sigma, 56% defect rate. Just to check negative part. So norm sin V, 1 minus 56 divided by 100, just to see negative. Yeah, it comes with a negative sign. And plus will be reported as 1.35 sigma. So this is the actual sigma level technically, but gets reported to this. Why? We will have all that clarification. But I hope
I have
yeah.
This is 1.35. I don't understand the result. Now you're telling 56% defects is sigma level is 1.35. So what is 1.35 sigma level? Means 4.3 to 6. What is this?
Okay, so when I say, so this is sigma level, is the way to measure. As I said, it's a defect measuring scale. It is a measurement scale which can help you identify your performance level. And so you can convert this 1.35 into quality percentage. You can convert this into a defect rate. So it's a universal metric. Okay, let me put a different question so that we all can understand. What do we do? What's the purpose of using this sigma level? Technically, what does it help us with? I'm a business owner and I have few departments. I have operations department. I have quality department. I have got sales department. I've got say HR department. Now I have to find out which department is the best department. Now, first of all, should I be comparing them? Just a quick question, just generally. Should I be comparing them? They are different departments and technically they're different job roles. How can I compare apple with oranges? Is it right to compare them?
No.
But it is. I'm a business owner. I would like to see which is my best department. Let's see. For example, operations, it's some sort of transactional process, hypothetically. So they have a monthly, some say back-end insurance claim processing center. So they have to process like 100, like say 200 claims per day. So that's their daily target. They have to process 200 medical or insurance claims per day, for example. So they could only process 165 out of 200 claims. That was their target given to them. That was their insurance claim processing, their own KPIs, operational target, their own KPI, not to compare with anyone else. This is their own individual department. Ideally, it's not they are not comparable because this is about, say, insurance claim. Now, quality was supposed to audit whether the claims are processed correctly or there are some rejections, whatever. So while they were able to, while they kind of doing the quality audits, their daily target to audit number of claims that they get is to audit about, say, 100 claims per day. And they were only able to manage 85 claims out of 100 claims. So the audit target which was given to them. Sales had to generate revenue. So sales had been given a target of $250,000. They could only achieve about, say, $190,000 instead of $250,000. So individual departmental target, whatever department sets. HR was supposed to hire people, 50 people, and they could only manage 40 people out of 50 people like hired. Technically, right now, they're not comparable. Can I compare them now? I'm all ready. Now, why? Because let's say, what's my defect? Let's say defect and what's the total? We'll get the same facts here. Defect is, say, 35. 35 claims were not processed out of 200. 15 claims were not processed out of 100. This is deficit of about $60,000 out of 250. And this is about 10 people were not hired out of 50. Do you have your defect rate? Yes. Now I have this sigma level. It's a universal metric which can help you compare any, okay, my bad. Let me 1 minus this divided by this, and I'll add 1.5 directly for reporting purposes. Which is my best department here?
Operation, quality.
Quality is the best department. Who is the worst department I'm dealing with?
Sales.
Sales this is the worst, and this is the best one. Now, decision making becomes easier. You can compare anything with anything. So we're not comparing into like, so right now, because these things were different. They had different KPIs. It was this difficult for stakeholders to compare and decide who is doing better, who is doing worse. A manager which is managing 5,000 people versus a manager which has a team of 50 people. Can I compare them? Why not? So based on the KPIs, their defect rate will be assessed, and you can. So it has become a universal metric to make decisions, to take decisions, and technically it helps you to minutely assess the process performance, but you are able to look at and compare how your process is getting better. So when you look at this 1.35 and all these, so these are metrics. When you look at sigma levels are getting better, so that means as your sigma level is getting better and better, your defects are going down. So you always try to do a project and then check, well, what's your new sigma level? What's your new sigma level? So you track your sigma levels, and that's an indicator that you're getting better. I hope that clarifies your question. And plus it helps you to compare decisions. It's easier to use them. But yes,
I have a question.
Please.
Like why did we opt for short-term sigma level in this calculation comparing with different departments?
Short term is always used. See, this is used for communication reporting, and the change of, see, the only difference is about we adding 1.5, and that 1.5 is what, as I said, like it will, before we understand this 1.5, there's lot many things from statistics perspective. We have to understand the basic difference. So, but see, the answer will not change. Only thing which is left out is clarification. But yes, we will get into that, because that's when we will be most likely in the 5th session, when we will be covering in detail, because this is only one version. We have to understand calculation of sigma level in say 4 or 5 different ways. So as a black belt, you got to understand everything, because see, next question could be from somebody, well, I give you a sigma level and you tell me what's the quality of that sigma level. I give you sigma level, you give me the defect rate. Now I give you defect, I gave you sigma. Now I'm giving you the reverse calculation. I'm telling you the sigma level, you tell me what's the quality. You tell me what's the defect rate. So reverse, there's a lot of versions. So we will cover all of it. So, and there's a lot of manual calculation, formula-based calculation, and definitely Minitab. Minitab will also cover. So we'll cover it up. But practically, the justification, it's all statistically validated. All these things we'll be able to verify that as we move forward. But I hope basic understanding is clear. So lean is purely observation based. You go to your process, visually watch out every single step, apply your lean knowledge, and identify what all activities in your process are, like, which can be called as a waste. You track them and then you eliminate them one by one. Basic logic, simple. It's a very simple stuff, but yes, it will help you get to a performance level and streamline, set the foundation right. Six Sigma will take your performance to an absolutely new level. When you want to go for a kill, when you want to go for a breakthrough change in your process, that's when you apply Six Sigma, because that's going to take you to like an absolutely phenomenal level of performance. Because at Six Sigma level, you are definitely a market leader, because the very, very rare companies who will be having Six Sigma level kind of performance. So Six Sigma is technically, it can get better as we move forward. So I'm not say, like, say, even with a manual process, can we get to a level of 7 Sigma? Yes, possible, but very difficult. But getting to a 6 Sigma is possible. Generally, people, and it might take multiple projects. Yes, Mr. Mad, you have a question?
Sir, as you said that Six Sigma reduces the defects, and sir, my question is that Six Sigma applied to all the like you said that there are different departments in organization. Is this Six Sigma to which department this Six Sigma applied the most? My question is this.
Any department. So if you have a KPI that you want to work on, if there is a problem, and you can collect data on that, well, pretty much you can see if if you have a target which you want to achieve, and if it's not getting, like you're not able to get there, yes, you can apply Six Sigma there. In general, people have been applying in all these departments. So the case studies, the booklet I was the folder that I was sharing, pretty much has different kind of case studies, how people have applied. So people are technically using in operations, people are using quality, sales, HR, finance, marketing, everywhere. This Six Sigma has no boundaries whatsoever. So all you got to have is a problem. And as we move forward and when we start using the data, we'll understand, because see, data has no language. Well, okay, let me just to kind of, it won't take long, have a quick look at this. I will be sharing these files. I have this data as average handling time data, some sort of process data, average handling time, how many minutes did it take for me to close an IT ticket. And like me, in an organization, when you open up an IT ticket, so you have some problem, you open up a ticket and then it takes some time to resolve that. So this IT ticket, which we want to reduce it. So this data is from an IT world. It doesn't matter. What if this data is from a manufacturing? Doesn't matter, because it's this number. Does it tell you it's from an HR department? Is it from IT? Is it from manufacturing? Is it from construction? No. Numbers don't have any department for data. So I'm just going to use this, copy paste this data, apply on my statistical knowledge, and it'll just work out simple. Whether it's a manufacturing data or a healthcare data, it doesn't matter, because maths has no language. I'm just going to apply this, and whether this data is for hiring, this data is for cost, this data is for quality, doesn't matter. All I need to know is how to read this analysis. It doesn't matter what industry, because maths has no language, and that's what it's all about, maths. So
yes,
it can be applied everywhere.
Yes, sir. As you said that it all depends upon the number, and number has no language. But sir, my question is, if it's particularly due to one department, if that defect is caused by one department, like human resource, if there is, for example, if there is some deficiency in, or they are not doing good work, like human resource is not doing good work, and this defect is caused due to this human resource, then will that be improved by that human resource only, or other department will also work towards the efficiency?
Depends on like how many departments are looped in. So when you try to understand what is causing, so there will be lean application, there will be Six Sigma applications. It might be because of a process failure, we don't follow the process. So in lean Six Sigma, you learn a lot of things. It's just not about analysis, you'll be learning about a lot of things, risk management, like a lot of things we will be. So when we go through it, it's a complete package where you end up kind of fixing it. You may not even need an analysis there when you know there's a problem because some people did not follow the process. So we'll set a process and then we'll set up controls. So what if it still happens in future? I should be able to detect it. So all those things will come in picture. But yeah, as we move forward, we'll understand that application part.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So the basic question. So there was a question, how can we apply in procurement everywhere? So Tulasi, it's applied. So I can, as I said, I can share that entire data of case studies. Have a look at it. It's applied everywhere. If you have got a problem, well, technically we have a solution with Six Sigma. There's no industry, no area where it's untouched. People are applying it. So yes, some bit of case studies would definitely help you to understand. And plus, any which ways, as we move forward, you will understand how it's applied. So we will. It's not, you haven't seen any presentation so far, you will not see any presentation, because it has to be learned the real way, the way it's practiced in the world. So you will go through the same procedure, will be able to understand. And there's a question, why Six Sigma? Can I increase the Sigma level? Yes, you can continue working on it. You continue working on it. So it's not that you go to directly Six Sigma level. It's always in a stepwise approach. So you might do a project, get to a level of 3.5 Sigma, then do another project, get to a level of 4 Sigma, then 4.1 Sigma. It's a series of multiple projects which will take you to a level of Six Sigma. I hope that clarifies your question. How KPI is used for maintaining? We will be getting to that. So most likely by tomorrow, we will see how, because Rajesh, we will get into that portion, the KPI part. Because projects will be picked up based on the KPI aspect. And I don't have your name here, Redmi 9A. I hope that clarifies your question. It's a continuous, so it goes on and on. Yes, right, absolutely. Okay. Yes, we will be having a break right now. That's what I was talking about. So yes, we will be taking a like a generally for a 3-hour session. We have a 15 minutes break. So whatever as per your respective time zone, we will connect again in next 15 minutes from now. So let's connect again. I'm going to start the clock. So let's be back in 15 minutes from now. Thank you. All right, so are we back from the break?
Yes, Shakti.
Yes.
Perfect. Sir.
Yes. Yes.
So we can get started now. So before going on the break, we just briefly wanted to understand on high level, and yes, some portion of this could be part of assessment. When you appear for examinations, yes, some portion of what we've already covered here can be a part of examination, and definitely during job interviews, portions of whatever we have covered so far are also discussed. So yes, we just try to keep it to the point which is relevant to your examination and from real world perspective when you are facing a job interview from that perspective. But the real fun definitely will come into picture when you actually start the actual journey of Lean Six Sigma. This is more from a introduction and understanding of what is Lean Six Sigma, some basic stuff, and in continuation with that, we want to talk about some bit of history. Honestly, we're not too much interested in the history. What has happened, and will not help us in implementation of project. But yes, for exam and for job interviews, people do ask this question. So where did Lean start? Where did Six Sigma start? Basic whereabout we should have. So anyone would like to pitch in? Where did Lean started? Anyone?
It's in Motorola.
No, not
Motorola.
Six Sigma. It's in Six Sigma, I think.
Yeah. Henry Ford, yes, Ford Motors, perfect. So Ford Motors is where the first evidence is available, like in terms of written paper, white paper, evidence is available where lean was practiced for industrial purposes. So Henry Ford was the one who was the CEO of Ford Motors. These guys changed the damage, like the definition of the automobile manufacturing. And before Henry Ford, sort of the change, we'll talk about what was the change. But the car manufacturing and rather every other manufacturing used to happen through something called crafts manufacturing. This was the mode of manufacturing. What was done in craft manufacturing? People, like, because we're talking about car, so we'll kind of keep it to car. People used to move from one car to another with spare parts. Cars were stationary and were built at one place. Let's understand what was that. So basically, and this method, it was a very slow process because people were moving, were dragging all the spare parts with them. The production capacity reported numbers were 30 to 35 cars per month. That was the old method, craft manufacturing, and was not only with cars, with every other manufacturing was done through craft manufacturing. Say, for example, this is car number one. It's locked at one place, fixed at one place. This is car number two, fixed at this place, locked at, so it's not movable. And the third car is built here. So cars were built at one place. And say if I'm fitting in bulb in a car, I'll move with all the bulbs, come to this car, fit in the bulb, drag remaining bulbs, then go to the next car, fit in the bulbs here, then drag remaining bulbs, go to this car, fit in the bulb. Somebody who's fitting in tires, who's moving with all the tires to this car, fit in the tires, drag remaining tires to this car. It was very, very slow process. So these guys just changed the method of processing. So what they brought to the world, which is what we call as assembly line. Assembly line is still late used. It's also referred as conveyor belt concept. Here, people became stationary and cars started moving on a belt. Well, their production capacity increased. Production increased by 3 to 4 times. This started concept of mass production for everyone. Globally, people copied this method, and even till date, everyone follows assembly line. So we'll talk about assembly line. Technically, this is a moving belt. So this is a person number one who's fitting in the bulb. All the bulbs are with him. And this guy is say fitting in tires. All the tires are right here. This guy is say fitting in something else. It's all the material is right here. Now the car comes in front of this guy on a belt. He fits in the bulb. Most of the next guy fits in the car, fits in the tires, fits in seats or whatever we want to. Bottom line, this was a speed up process. Well, this is lean. Lean is all about speed of the process. The car manufacturing production capacity increased, that they used to take like a complete day to manufacture a car. Now they were manufacturing car in 1/4 time. That's lean. Lean is about speed of the process. Yes, the first evidence was available with these guys, but the word lean did not come from Ford. Lean was not, the word lean was not introduced by Ford. They did what was lean. Yes, Toyota was the one. Toyota introduced this word lean to the world. These guys implemented something what we call as Toyota Production System. In short, they referred as TPS. These guys revolutionized the concept of lean. Well, just a quick background about it. Well, when Japan was engaged in World War and for pretty long time, and their economy was in a bad shape because being into war for pretty long time, and plus when they were bombarded, they were in a, like the country was in at the verge of filing bankruptcy. So these guys had a choice. Either they file for bankruptcy, or with whatever resources you have, bad infrastructure, less capital, everything was in a bad shape. But with whatever you have, try to create best out of it. Well, they chose the latter. Yes, they try to understand whatever given resources they have, and we're referring back to the cars because they were competing. Toyota was competing with Ford Motors, with General Motors, which had complete monopoly in the market. And these guys were nowhere. So these guys understood that we cannot beat Ford Motors, General Motors in terms of volume. They are giants. They have too much of capital. They have excellent infrastructure. Yes, we will manufacture less cars, but our cars will be exclusively made for the end customer. The end customer should be really happy using our product. The cars should be made at like keeping in mind what is beneficial for the end customer. That's the lean concept. Lean is all about end customer, the user. And that's what these guys crafted. So when Toyota cars came into the market, people loved Toyota cars. They were first of all less costlier than the Ford Motors or General Motors. They were more like comfortable. Warranty claims were not there. Their mileage, everything was better, and there was no match. And people started drawing comparisons immediately. And yes, investors, well, wherever they get benefit, they always switch their funds there. And that's what Toyota started getting amazing investment. Like, so from US markets, from European markets, investors started pulling money. The lean concept was not only learned by Toyota, they were learned by everyone. But Toyota became the flag bearer for everyone. And everyone in Japan sort of imbibed that lean culture. And till date, well, there's no one, when it comes to lean, well, there's no one better than Toyota who can teach how to implement lean. These guys crafted best out of nothing, I would say. Now, given the fact that Japanese companies were blossoming, everyone, like people were still trying to struggle and understand what is this Japanese doing? Well, why Japanese quality is the best quality? They were not able to figure out what is this so-called lean. And that was like technically troubling a lot of other players in the market. And that gave birth to Six Sigma, because there was another giant which was getting, was like facing a lot of troubles because Japanese companies had come. And that's where, can you tell me, like, where did Six Sigma start? Yes,
Motorola.
Absolutely, Motorola. So Motorola was, they had complete monopoly in two products. One was Motorola pager, and I'm not sure how many of us would have used pager. If you're my age, then pretty much you would have used pagers, and walkie-talkie. So Motorola pagers and walkie-talkie, they had complete monopoly globally. These guys started getting tough competition from Japanese companies, which started manufacturing pager, which started manufacturing walkie-talkie, which is used by security guard, police officials. Well, they were in a bad shape because earlier people had no choices. Whether they like or don't like, they had to use Motorola. There were no choices. Now people had choices. So the Motorola started losing its market significantly. Investors started pulling out money. And that's when few names we must remember. Bob Galvin, CEO of Motorola. This guy was like, he called upon like a meeting with his senior scientist in research and development. named Bill Smith. He's known as father of Six Sigma. Another gentleman, Dr. Michael, spelled as M-I-K-E-L, Michael Harry. He's also referred as co-architect of Six Sigma. These two guys was given the task to come up with something which can beat the so-called lean. We don't know what's that, but it's troubling us too much. We're losing investors, we're losing the market share. Well, these guys announced it to the world, well, in 1986, that we have come up with something called Six Sigma, a new term for everyone. Well, nobody knew what was Six Sigma. So they announced to the world that this is a method that we have adopted in manufacturing of pagers, walkie-talkie, and everything. Well, our process quality has reached to a Six Sigma level. That means it's 3.4 defects in 1 million opportunities, which is when we're saying we are process quality is 99.99966%. Well, that was an shocker for Japanese. Well, with Japanese lean, generally with lean, you could only fix what's visible to you. So 99% kind of quality, yes, you could achieve. But at that point in time, 99% quality was a game changer. Well, world was still struggling to get to 90% kind of thing. Lean was giving them sort of 98, 99% kind of quality, and Japanese were the best one. Well, when Japanese got a shock of their life, is that also possible? Yes. With Motorola, when they got the Six Sigma in, they regained everything they had lost, market share, investors, everything. But thanks to Bob Galvin, he was a noble soul. He never wanted to keep it as secret information within the company. These guys invited people from every other industry, come and visit Motorola facility, see what is this Six Sigma. This guy wanted the industry to benefit. A lot of people visited Motorola facility. They saw the Six Sigma projects, how they were done, how it was analyzed, how to reduce the defect, how to reduce variation. Everything was explained to them. They conducted a lot of seminars, and finally, big names stepped in. ABB, Asian Brown Boveri, till date one of the big companies globally, and they still practice Six Sigma in and out. Allied Signal and Honeywell. These few big names which stepped into Six Sigma, but they were in a different field than Motorola. These were giants. They reported cost saving, not revenue, in billions of dollars. And that was where it became talk of the town. People wanted to understand, because this thing, it was like probably everyone wanted to understand, because people were benefiting. ABB applied, they started reporting cost saving because of Six Sigma in billions of dollars. Allied Signal did, Honeywell did. Well, pretty much the biggest game changer stepped in the end. Well, in 1995, well, the game changer stepped in was General Electric. General Electric, which was led by Jack Welch, CEO. Jack Welch, these guys, General Electric till date is a big player in the market. So they were so big, practically Jack Welch imbibed Six Sigma as company philosophy when it comes to continuous improvement. And yes, even till date, if you want to get a job in General Electric in management role, you have to be a Six Sigma certified professional. You cannot. Everyone in General Electric till date speak from top to bottom. They understand what is Six Sigma, the philosophy of working Six Sigma. Now, these guys revolutionized everything. They were giants, so they used it for themselves. They used it for their clients, and they became consultants of Six Sigma. Well, if you have a problem, any business problem, any industry, doesn't matter. Well, you hire us as consultant. We will come back, we'll come there, we'll solve your problem, and pretty much we're done. So hire us as consultant. They made it popular. Well, General Electric, when we'll study Six Sigma, we'll talk about different phases. DMAINC, how Six Sigma gets implemented. D stands for define, M for measure, A for analyze, I for improve, and C for control. Let's understand what do we do in every phase. In define phase, we select the right project. But as a business, you have so many challenges. You have cost issues, you have quality issues, you have market share, you have production issues. You have a lot of different types of challenges which you have in an organization: handling time, attrition. It could be anything, any KPI that you were trying to solve. But given that you have limited resources, limited time, you have to justify that. You have to make sure that you pick up the right project, not any project. And that's why the first phase is all about selecting the right project. You have to justify the ROI part. Now that's where the first phase, defined phase, is all about project management. PMP, there was a question about how PMP and Six Sigma are different. Well, practically, Six Sigma is a project and PMP teaches project management. So with the knowledge of PMP, you can apply Six Sigma, where you have much better understanding how to carry out a project with the help of the statistical tools also. So define phase is all about project management. So we will cover a lot of tools of project management in this case. So people who do Six Sigma, they have much higher chances of clearing a PMP certification exam. And people who have done PMP, they always get inclined towards Six Sigma, because it's again a form of implementing a project. So they're sort of they go hand in hand. Everyone will find who has done Six Sigma will go towards PMP certification. But that's the first thing. We will cover it up. A lot of project management tools here to help us understand how do you select a project, how do you present your idea in front of the management, how do you get the approval, how do you get the team, how you give the responsibilities to different people. A lot of tools and techniques we'll cover. Measure phase is when you've decided, since you've decided the project that you will be solving the business problem, you collect reliable data for analysis. Well, the foundation of Six Sigma is data. So most important part is reliability. What if the data you have, it's wrong? What if it's collected incorrectly? But then your analysis will go wrong. So most important part is the reliability. Can you trust the data? Well, that's where quality management and statistics will come in picture. Coming to analyze phase. Well, analyze phase is all about using statistical tools to find root cause. You are not able to understand what is causing the problem because it's not something what we can see. Yes, you will use the statistical tools and techniques to find the root cause. Let's kind of pause for a moment and have a quick look at the area that I'm talking about, specific to analyze part. Define phase, we'll go through all these as we move forward. Okay, have a look at. So these are the sigma levels and all those. So sigma level, long-term sigma, short-term sigma, all of this, everything will come in. This is all Minitab output that we're looking at, all Minitab output. So coming to analyze that we talked about, let's see. We have a lot of potential factors. We use different types of statistical tests to figure out what is actually causing the problem. We may talk about a lot of them. We'll have to learn about different types of data. We'll need different types of tests. So we'll go through all this. So we'll apply different statistical tools to understand which one is the real root cause, which is actually causing the problem. And then you have the actual root causes identified through statistical testing. That's what you do here. Coming back to this one. So again, it's all about quality management and statistics. Improve phase, obviously every project will have a target. So you achieve the target. Again, a lot of statistics involved here also. So quality management and statistics applies here. Control phase is all about sustaining the improvement. Well, you do not want to do a project, again, the problem resurfaces, then there's no point in doing a project. Six Sigma project, the beauty about Six Sigma project, if you improve something, it will always stay improved. The difference between a traditional project and a Six Sigma project is traditional project will improve and then slowly, steadily, it will go down. Slowly, steadily, you'll start seeing the problem back again. That's not the case in Six Sigma. Six Sigma, you improve and you control, sustain that level, fix that level, sustain the process, put the process in extreme statistical control. Now the DNA of the process has changed. Project is over in control phase. Pick up a new project, improve, again a new performance level, and then sustain it. Control phase. Lock this level, sustain, put the process. Now your process cannot go back here because it's locked at this level. Now again, put a new project. So it always goes in a step ladder approach, continuous improvement, goes on and on, but doesn't go straight away. It always has a control phase, control phase, control phase. So it's no point in just going increasing and you're not able to sustain that improvement. Control phase does that job, last phase. So practically, when you talk about different phases, we will have a lot of statistics involved. It's very interesting and very easy, by the way. But let's move ahead with this. Having said that, when we talk about Six Sigma, the old version, the original version of Six Sigma, the Motorola version, just had 4 phases: measure, analyze, improve, control. General Electric added define to it. It was not there. So until 1995, ABB, Allied Signal, everyone, Motorola, everyone was using the Motorola version. Pick up a project, any project. Well, you have a problem, you bring a problem to your boss. When the boss, you convince the boss, let's do a project. You start doing a project. That was the old version. Well, General Electric said, sorry, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. You're not picking up the right project. You do not have abundance of everything. You have limited resources. Try to select the most important project. So apply project management tools first. So that's where General Electric made it DMAC. Globally, people now follow DMAC. There's nothing called MAC. You just follow DMAC principle. So this is the framework that we apply in Six Sigma world. Well, a quick question. Is it okay and clear with everyone? Any questions? Yes, Vijay.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify one thing, like the define phase. So is it defining a problem or we have so many problems and selecting a particular problem as a priority?
Yes, yes, the second one. You have a lot of problems, as like you might reach out to different stakeholders in your organization to understand, well, what are the different challenges? You might reach out to the customers, and then based on the problems that you identify, you will apply project selection methods to, and based on certain criteria, you will end up selecting a project, and then you will sort of detail and finally discuss, well, out of the multiple problems we've discussed, we have finally selected a project. So yes, you will be selecting out of a pool of a project in here. So it's more about finally deciding what will you improve in this project.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Anyone has any other question? This is more from a history, but still good to know the entire story, because again, exam and interviews, that's where it will be applied, this portion. We will be talking about it, like, so DFSS, this is the next thing we will be talking about. Next thing is going to be coming to as frameworks of Six Sigma. We'll be discussing the next one. Yeah. So history part, we just trying to understand the history. So history, how Lean started and how then it connected with Six Sigma, who sort of changed the framework of Six Sigma. Now we're talking about frameworks of Six Sigma, how Six Sigma gets implemented. Frameworks of Six Sigma. Well, Redmi 9 examples of applications, I can share that. Let's see. So given that the portion that we have covered, there's too much of material. So yes, if it's a specific industry related stuff, I will be, as I said, I'll be sharing case studies with reference to various industries. You will find your answers there. Definitely, yes. So I'll have a look at it. I'll share. You download on your, like, we'll be able to download from the link. I'll be sharing the notes and there'll be a lot of material will be shared by me during these 30 hours. So I'm sure you'll get that. All right. Now coming to the framework part, we have the standard framework. I'll just copy paste, save some time. DMAC. DMAC is the standard framework. Everyone uses DMAC. But is that the only framework? No, absolutely not. We have DFSS. Now, what is DFSS? Design for Six Sigma. We'll come first. Let's understand the difference between DMAC and DFSS. Then we'll further detail about DFSS. So when do we apply DMAC based Six Sigma project, or when do we apply DFSS based Six Sigma project? Let's see. If you have an existing process and it needs improvement, well, you will apply DMAC. So if your process is doing good, everything is going fine, but I believe I can do better, there's a scope for improvement, you will apply DMAC. If the process is bad, the complaints, escalations, you're missing your targets, it's out of control, it's a chaotic situation, still you will implement DMAC because you have an existing process. You just need to improve an existing process. So 99.99% of the time, you only implement DMAIC. We all have process. Every organization has some process which needs an improvement. When do we apply DFSS then? Well, this is bread and butter for people in research and development. This is all about creating a new product not an existing one. New product, service, or design, statistically, as per client requirements. This is more about creation of new. This is improving an existing one. This is creating something new as per customer requirement. Even your COVID vaccines, they are a part of DFS. They were created new. They were not improvisation. Well, there was a new thing which came up. Nobody had an idea what to do with this COVID thing. That's what a product was developed in research and development lab. And yes, a new product was available for everyone, which we know as COVID vaccine. Now, DFSS has two versions. So when people apply DFSS, there are two versions. One is DMADV, and then you have IDOV. IDOV. Different frameworks. So this is a bifurcation of DFSS. So this is define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. And IDOV stands for identify, design, optimize, and verify. Let's understand the basic difference there. When we talk about DMADV, what are we referring to? And when do we apply IDOV? So here, let's pick up an example for product. So if you are creating a product which is new for the company, but not new for the world, you are working with DMADV project. If you are creating a product which is new for the company and for the world too, that's an IDOV project. Let's take a simple example. I have been hearing all this while that this Tesla company, which is Mr. Elon Musk company, is they're gonna launch not the Tesla one, but a different. They will be launching a mobile phone. Well, you are creating a new product line. Is it new for you? Has Tesla been into, or like Elon Musk as a company owner, has he been into mobile manufacturing? No. Is it going to be a new product for him? Definitely yes. Is it new for the world? No, we already have mobile phones. We have best of the mobile phones available in the market. So you are starting a new product line. It's definitely new for you, but not new for the world. It's new for you only. It's relatively easy than the IDOV, because we talk about IDOV, we'll understand, but it's relatively, I would say, easy because you already know there are products in the market. You can purchase those products. You can dismantle the product. You can have your research and development team look into those products, understand. You have a reference to look at. You understand the pros and cons, what is the best in class look like, and what are the features they're offering. Your experts, you can take feedback and you can conduct surveys and then design and develop a better product than that. It's easier. I would say it's easier when you have a line of sight, when you can touch, feel, see the best in the world already existing. So it's sort of relatively easy to design and develop something like that. IDOV is when you're chasing an idea. It's not been done before. It's the actual invention we talk about. It's an actual invention. With COVID vaccines were the one. Well, it started, this COVID thing started, nobody had an idea how long it will take to get a COVID vaccine. Well, it will take about 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, no idea. Things were designed and developed in a research and development lab with whatever limited information people had, less information about genetic sequence, everything which was innovation. Yes, you, by the help of statistics, with less data, you can extrapolate much more out of this. And that's how, when people were taking COVID vaccine sorts, so people who were under clinical trials, based on the results of COVID vaccines on the people who were under clinical trials, who were taking those shots when the vaccines were getting developed, the data was getting collected with few people, but the results were extrapolated to understand if this works on these people, will it work for everyone globally? And that's what, so the statistics part comes into picture there. So all in all, either you talk about DMADV or you talk about IDOV. Both are driven through a common statistical tool. We will work, we'll be doing that bit of testing, which is called design of experiments. In short, we refer this as DOE, design of experiment. Complex, confusing, definitely yes. It's most advanced method of statistical testing what we have here. But to understand design of experiment, you need to understand this, because all that you learn here will be applied here in a robust way. And all we have DOE is right here. We will be working DOE. We'll be doing that, but a portion of it. But yes, we will have a fair bit of idea how DOE works. So be it DMADV version or be it IDOV version, they all apply design of experiment. And it's the product is designed, developed, tested, verified, everything statistically. And we will see that. We'll go and cover that portion of design of experiment, and we will have a clear understanding how these things works. So pretty much, but the foundation, it's not something different. It's exactly what we've learned here. It's all combined together to create a complete model. DOE is a standalone piece which can be applied in anything technically if you have to design and develop something new. Yes, Ahmad, you have a question.
Sir, my question is that for everything to improve, like if you want to improve anything, we have certain standard that to such extent we want to improve. But if we develop something new, like in DMDV or IDOV, we are creating something new. So how can we know that, like in DMDV, we can know that it's already developed in the world. But in IDOV, we don't know that this product is totally new. How can we set a standard to know that to which extent it need improvement? Like if there is no standard, how can we know that it to which extent it need improvement?
Okay, Mr. Mat, so first of all, wherever we do any project, we first set a target. Anything that, so you will have a target, and that's how we always try to achieve the target. Well, is it a standard? Because it's not been done before. So I don't know what best is possible. So I set a target, I get to that level, and then I optimize. Even statistically, it will give you much better options and control. So what we designed, what we kept as an aim, as a target, it's quite possible that we might get a better version, and we might be able to, when we work with IDOV and when we work through design of experiment, we'll see that we had an expected target in the mind, but statistically it will give you alternative methods which can give you much better result than that. So statistics will drive innovation. So probably, okay, for example, I'm trying to develop a product, make a product which is with cost effectiveness. I'm trying to develop a product which is like a car, for example, a much faster car which gives better mileage. And my expected mileage, the target that I have kept for myself is that when I put in 1 liter of oil in the car, it should give me, like, say 35 kilometers for 1 liter. That's my target. While I design and develop and apply DOE, my target I'm setting up as 35. I want to develop a car which will give me this kind of mileage. While we're designing that, the data will also give you certain other combinations which you can try, which might even get you up to a 40. Well, because who knows, as you said, that it has not been done before. So statistics will drive and help you get certain things which are out of. So when these will be the extra, the things that we're talking about, there are like when we globally, whenever there any product are manufactured, designed, developed, and further innovations happen, it is driven through this portion.
Okay, sir. Thanks for clarification.
So it is always going to be. So yes, you always set a target first. They will be. You don't know. Probably there's something better than who. Well, so in real world, say probably I have the best. Probably I have a car which I know for sure can get the best mileage we have been able to achieve. Say, for example, is 30 kilometers per liter. But based on certain parameter, we say, well, if you do these, we set these parameters, the speed, the oil type, and I might use a certain tire pressure, and I can maintain a certain speed level. This is the best mileage you could get. Well, it's quite possible because this is our current knowledge, but there might be another combination I might try, which might give me 35, which might give me 38. I don't know. And that's what the I don't know part will be explored through statistics. I guess there were a couple of more people who had some question. Mr. Ajit, is your question answered?
Yes, sir. Every time that is not that we have to set the benchmark. Means sometimes it can also be that there will be the necessity for the some kind of problem it will arise, and that will be the benchmark or target, and we will focus and have the invention for that.
And then later on, we want to set a bench. Like, see, there will always be a target. Whenever you do, even in a Six Sigma project, you will have to set a target for yourself, and then you achieve a target, and then you see benchmarks are created after some time. When people start achieving, and then we gather more data, we set the benchmark higher, we set the level higher. So benchmarks get created later on, not in the initial bit. And like whatever is the current performance, like right now we are looking at vaccines. The vaccines have some manufacturers, now we have certain vaccines, there's certain level of performance. Now over a period of time, you'll have vaccines which will create a benchmark. You should have this much of efficiency, the effectiveness of those vaccines, and then pretty much you will see every manufacturer would try to get to that level. But yes, to start with, we don't set a benchmark. Right? We do have a target, because benchmark is like industry benchmark, but it takes some time so to get to a level of benchmark. But yeah, we'll get to this part of design of experiment. We'll have the fair bit of understanding how these things are done. It's all going to be done here in Minitab. When we apply this knowledge, like all these tools, we'll work with data. We'll see how the data will drive you to try out something which we have not even tried. System will tell you what to do. Rather, you try hit and trial, system will guide you, do this A, B, C, and you get this XYZ result. System will tell you. It's not that I'll do hit and trial. So that's what DOE is most powerful tool that we have. But yes, it's a little confusing, but if you understand it well, and having said that, you all will be having this knowledge. Can I use this knowledge of design of experiment in regular projects? Absolutely, yes. This is the most advanced tool. As a green belt, you only cover DMA, I see. Only cover DMA, I see. Black belts to go through design of experiment. But if I'm a black belt and I know design of experiment, can I use that knowledge in my regular projects? Absolutely, yes. This is more advanced. Why not? I will use it. I would definitely use it if it's possible. I would definitely end up using design of experiment. So we'll cover it up. We'll get comfortable with this concept. But yes, it's honestly a little tricky to understand this better. Well, we definitely need to understand this section. So that's pretty much on the frameworks of Six Sigma. Yes, Mr. Vishnu.
So design of experiment is also a stepwise procedure, or how it goes?
See, it's more from so when you will be conducting some experiments, system will design the framework. Like when you want to apply a design of experiment, system will tell you that combinations that you can try, these many combinations, run those experiments in research and development lab, and you will have some results of the data. We would not get into details of it. Let me quickly show it to you, a quick run around, so you can pretty much understand what I'm talking about. Let me quickly, you may not be able to relate with these terms right now, but let me quickly show it to you. Say 3 factors. Let me kind of keep it. It'll be early for us to kind of get into all this stuff, but just to give you a quick idea. So say I want to develop a car with better mileage. So I want to try out 60 kilometers per hour speed, or 90 kilometers per hour speed. I want to try out, say, most likely say tire pressure. I want to keep, I want to understand what is the right tire pressure. So 30 psi, 35 psi, and pretty much I can say weight of the engine. Probably want to control that, 100 kilograms, 150 kilograms. So it will tell you that these are the combinations. Try and create, run the experiment, and here track the mileage. Track the mileage, run a car in research and development lab with a speed of 60, with tire pressure of 30, and use the engine with a weight of 100 and track your mileage. And then try out this combination, then try out this combination, try out this combination. So different combinations will be created, and the result will be analyzed through statistics. Again, it will come into picture when we apply all these things. We will cover it up. We'll go and analyze all that stuff. But yeah, all that combinations and there will be some combinations which we haven't even tried before, will be given by the system. Rather, you trying hit and trial, it might give you a different weight. Probably we know the weight is 100 or 150. What if 130 is the best weight. Well, system will tell you what to use, rather you try and hit and try. So we'll come to that portion. I hope that clarifies.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So these are the frameworks of Six Sigma. Well, while we talk about Six Sigma as a generally when we go and apply. Yes, Mr. Vijay, you have a question?
Yeah. So what I could understand is design of experiments give you some kind of a guidance, like how can we, what kind of experiment we should try to get best out of it.
Yes, absolutely. So it'll help you try out certain experiments. And when you conduct those experiments, you'll have some data, and that data will get analyzed. And then based on analysis, system will tell you what to use to get the best output. All right. So basically, we are trying to just compare and understand what is general approach. Well, how Six Sigma is sort of a little different. In a real world problem, like in a real world situation, if I'm facing a challenge with any business problem, we will apply our experience, our knowledge, our experts' opinion, and we'll apply that in real world solution. In most of the situation, we do get some success. Absolutely. We all are successful people. We are seasoned professionals in our industry. It doesn't mean that you don't know Six Sigma and then you're not worth it. No, it's people without Six Sigma doing great also. Having said that, having a knowledge of Six Sigma will give you an extra edge. So it's, well, definitely what you have been doing, please continue doing the same. It's not that what you know today is of no use. No, that is of prime importance. So whatever you have been doing, please continue doing the same. In Six Sigma approach, the way you tackle a problem will just change. You will still have a real world problem. You will convert that into a statistical problem. Data. That statistical problem will be converted into a statistical solution. And that solution will be then implemented. The tested, proven method will be applied in real world solution. So here I'm not trying to do a hit and trial in real world. All I know is it works right here. So it's not that I see, because when I apply some sort of solution, real world, it may or may not work. Here, I am only applying a tested and verified solution. So when it's rolled out, it works. Why? Because I know it works here. So technically, this is when we define the real world problem. This is when we talk about define phase. Statistical problem is when we're collecting data and we're analyzing the data about the reason why the problem is happening. When you know it, you improve and then you implement the controlled solutions in the real world. So that's how it's a sandwiched approach of statistics in between. So we will go through the journey, we'll understand real world, how people apply these principles in real world scenarios. But yes, that's what more like when you we will, as you look at any project scenario, you'll see this approach will show up. Like you first pick up a project, you collect the data, you analyze the data, you find out why the problem is happening. When you know the problem, you'll always have a solution. And then pretty much solution part, even design of experiment will come into picture here. So we'll as we go through, we'll understand it better, because it's more from a early, like it's too early for us to understand all those things, because we haven't gone through those tools and techniques in the flow of the project. But more like this is more about giving you a high level idea about various frameworks which are applied in real world scenario. Now, moving on with one more thing which is very important is about Six Sigma belts. We all are going through a master's program. So let's understand what are the different Six Sigma belts and their roles in an organization. So first we have a white belt. Then we have a yellow belt. By now, when we complete this topic, you would have covered the yellow belt topics. Everything in yellow belt has been covered. Project management role starts at green belt. Let's compare with black belt. So we'll compare green belt and black belt. Then we have a master black belt. Now, we have two more nomenclatures to deal with in Six Sigma. You'll hear the term champion. It's not a Six Sigma designation. Will generally people confuse with Six Sigma, like champion as also as a belt. No, it's not a Six Sigma belt. Six Sigma belts end at master black belt. Then we have a sponsor. Let's kind of understand. We will be dealing with these people, hence we need to understand them. Now, first thing first, what is white belt? It's more of an awareness training. So you don't become a member of a Six Sigma project. No, because you are just gone through a awareness training. What is lean? What is Six Sigma? Just to give you an idea, high level information, a white belt. What is discussed in a white belt program? Generally, more of a case study. You might pick up a case study and tell your staff, well, because when you want to implement Six Sigma, you want people to be aware, because you are not the only one who will be doing it. Six Sigma is a teamwork. So you want to make sure this awareness is done. Everyone in the organization is clear what is lean, what is Six Sigma. People should not come back and ask you a question, well, what is this lean and Six Sigma you're doing? Well, we don't want that kind of scenario. It's important to create an awareness. So here we just discuss a case study, how people have implemented Six Sigma in similar industry and how they have benefited. It's pretty much an awareness one. Yellow belt are very important. So they are active team members of a project, but they don't lead a project. Technically, a yellow belt is a one-day program. That's it, one-day program where you understand about DMAIC overview, not detailed one, overview training. And yes, you also end up learning about overview of 7 quality control tools, which yellow belts are important, because they will always be working as per your instructions. You need people who can understand your language. You tell them, well, we are going to make a fishbone diagram. We're going to do an ANOVA analysis. We're going to do a scatter plot. They will understand your language as yellow belts, because you need people. You as a project manager, you are the one who's strategizing, who's making those strategies. You need somebody to follow those strategies. So yes, yellow belts will be the one who will be able to understand. They'll collect the data for you. So you have to give them the instructions. So these people are very important. They're active team members. They will be working with you. As a green belt or a black belt, they will be team members. Project management role starts right here. So as a green belt or a black belt, you lead a project. So either a project is a green belt project or a black belt project. Let's find the difference between them. So first of all, difference in their project management knowledge. Well, this is exactly the same. There is no difference whatsoever. Why? Because both have to complete a project from define till control. Well, the project doesn't change, whether it's a green belt or black belt. Project management skills have to be same, because pretty much the journey has those 5 principles, 5 phases in be it green belt or black belt. So project management principles will not be different in green belt or black belt. They're all same. Well, the difference will come right here in statistical knowledge. This is exposure is low to medium exposure in green belt. Black belt is extensive, and you will go through a very extensive one. Well, we can always say thanks to design of experiment. That's complicated. So that's why it is complete. So as a black belt, you have a full array of all the tools available with you. We can solve any problem. Let's understand. It'll be early to talk about it, but let me kind of just mention the data sets. We will talk about something called normal data. Green belts only work with normal data. Black belts work with normal data, non-normal data, categorical data. Categorical has 3 types: binary, ordinal, nominal. We'll learn about all of this. So black belts have no limitations. Well, they can work with any data set. They have no limitation whatsoever. So green belts have definitely limited data sets which they can work on. Apart from that, typical duration of in a real world, when you do a project, a green belt project would typically, not necessarily all projects, would take about 4 to 6 months. Most of the projects gets completed in 4 to 6 months. Yeah, exceptions can be there. Green belt can be 1 year long project, absolutely possible. But typically, most projects will get over in 4 to 6 months. Black belts are more complex, more departments are involved. 9 to 12 months is a typical lifespan. We just completed about a project it took about 1 year, 7 months, roughly. That's what it took. It was a black belt project for a publication house. And yes, it varies depending. A black belt project could be a 5-year long project also. Depends project to project, but typically most projects, I would say average would be about 9 to 12 months. One more part, role, very important. Well, here I will be contradicting myself and I'll come back and clarify. Please pardon me. Greenbelt works within their department. Well, that's funny. Because the first thing I was telling you, Six Sigma has no boundaries, no limitations. Well, as a Six Sigma professional, every industry is your industry, every department is your department. Now I'm saying Greenbelt works within their department. Well, technically, can Greenbelt work in other departments? Absolutely, yes. Greenbelt has no restriction, honestly, can work in any department, any industry, no limitation. But what is the culture globally? That Greenbelt works within the department. And there's a reason why. Why? Because your work ratio as Greenbelts is 70-30. So 30% of the time you are working on projects. Let's understand. I'm an HR person, for example, and I was hired as an HR professional. I completed my Six Sigma training. Now, my head of HR department is aware that I have done Six Sigma training and I could contribute in the department by solving some problems within the department. So I am given that extra responsibility to work on project and solve some problem. But my salary is paid by the HR department. So 70% of the time I still do my HR job, and 30% of the time I work within HR department to solve HR problems because my salary is paid by the department. If I'm in operations, so I still do 70% of operations work, and 30% of the time I'm solving operational problem. So is it a rule? No, because your salary is paid by the department. The cost center comes into picture. So cost center plays the role. So whoever pays your salary will take the benefit. That's how it works. But can a Greenbelt work everywhere? Absolutely, they can work everywhere. But culture is globally, not one country, like globally, it's like that. Black belt works everywhere. So they're cross-functional. They will poke their nose in everyone's job. They're 100% project managers. They are not restricted anywhere. They are more from a senior position as a black belt. One more, which is about cost savings. Now, different companies have different criteria of defining a project as a green belt or a black belt. And it will vary from company to company. If it's a small scale company, they have a different criteria. A medium scale company can have a multinational company can have a different criteria. General Electric has a different criteria. This is only true for General Electric. If the cost saving is less than $10 million, they call it as a green belt one. It's only true for General Electric. If it's more than $10 billion, they call it as a black belt project, cost saving. For a different company, it could be different. So who decides it? The CEO, CXOs within that company, the directors, whoever, who is the sponsor of the project, will decide what's the definition of green belt and black belt. It will vary from company to company. So it's up to the stakeholders of the organization. Now, who is the master black belt? Now, master black belt is an experienced black belt. Generally, must have done at least 8 to 10 projects in diversified industry, departments, domain. Why? And we'll understand that part because this guy will be working as a mentor or a guide. Generally, a master black belt will have a team of 9 to 12 people. So generally, this 9 to 12 people will be a team of green belt and black belt if you're working in an organization. So master black belt honestly doesn't do anything in an organization. If you're working, if you are employed in an organization as master black belt, you don't do a master black belt project. No, you have a team. So green belt does green belt job, black belt does black belt job. If they get stuck somewhere, you are there. You're the mentor. You will be giving them feedback, coaching, guidance. So your role is more of a coach. But when you work as a consultant like me, then pretty much you're on your own. So, well, then as a master black belt, you do a project. So otherwise, if you're working in an organization, you have a proper team and you work with it. But generally, if as a consultant, I'm working with a company and like I'm switching company. So I create my team there. I work with them, then I'm carrying out the project because company would hire me as a consultant to do the job. Generally, but typically in an organization don't work because you have a team. They most likely they'll be acting as a bridge between Six Sigma department and management. So generally Six Sigma people, like we have different departments in every organization. Six Sigma departments are generally called as process excellence department, generally operational excellence departments and business excellence department. Most generally when you see a job opportunity, you see that the name would show up like this, that is a job in process excellence or operational excellence. Can there be a different version? Absolutely. These are names. You can write any name. Different companies can choose any fancy name, but most common name of Six Sigma department is this. Most common one out of this is process excellence. So in the decreasing order, second highest recurrence will be this one, and third highest will be this one. I'll come back to the questions. Just let me just kind of finish this portion, a quick one. Champion. Well, who is this champion? Technically, when I see Six Sigma people call this person as champion. We call, it's not a Six Sigma designation. We call Six Sigma people call somebody as a champion. Who? The head of department, where the project is getting done. If it's an operations head, finance head, HR head, whatever head of department, you're like a VP of the organization is somebody who we call as champion. Now let's take up a scenario. There's an operations team, and the operations team has been facing a challenge, and they have tried to solve the problem. The managers, general managers, and all those people have got all the experts together. They try to solve it. It's not getting over. The problem keeps coming back again and again. So the head of department, the VP or whatever is the head of department for operations, like believes now probably things are not getting settled, and we need to take help from Six Sigma team. So champion will coordinate with the master black belt, or if you don't have a master black belt, then the champion will coordinate with black belt, and we'll discuss the challenge, discuss the problem, and say, well, we want you to solve this problem for us. So they will prepare a plan. They will put together something called project charter. We'll be discussing about project charter. So in the define phase, we will discuss about that project charter. So then champion will convince the sponsor. Now sponsor has one single rule. Sponsor just funds the project. Now who is the sponsor? CEO, CXO, CTO, all those like directors, MDs, anyone who's the funding authority, who's funding the project, who's just giving money. So champion will convince the sponsor that we have got a problem and we have tried to solve it, but unfortunately we have not been able to get success. So I think we need a project to be done, and I will be like taking help from the Six Sigma team, and this is the tentative budget we'll need for the project, and this is the projected benefits out of the project. So champion will convince the sponsor that a project needs to be done. So sponsor will give the funding based on the convincing capabilities of champion and on the face value of the champion or whatever. Champion gets the funding. So who is the owner of the project? The owner of the project is champion. So project success or failure is champion's responsibility. Well, if project is successful, champion will get the kudos, the credit, the benefits. Sponsor will probably give him extra, whatever. But if the project fails, champion will get the beating. And that's why champion will be very ruthless, very, very ruthless, because tomorrow you are just handling the project. You are facilitator. You're just handling the project for the champion. Champion is technically my client. We will call this person as a champion because he's like, we coordinate, we're contracted by the champion to do a project to solve his problem. Now, what we got to keep in mind, we must ensure that the champion gets first-hand information. Well, never hide anything from the champion. If someone is giving hard time in the project, loop in champion. Well, somebody was supposed to give you data. Somebody was supposed to help you in the project, as agreed, discussed, is giving you hard time, giving you a run around. Well, do not wait. It's not your project which is getting delayed. It's champion's project which is getting delayed. Champion's responsibility is to remove roadblocks from the project, or in the project rather. It's important for us to understand champion is at a very high position, respectable position, has a lot of authority. You have to use that authority. If somebody is giving you a tough time, making things difficult for you, loop in champion. It's not, the person is technically not messing up with you. Champion is, the person is messing up with the champion. You got to make sure the champion is in the loop so the problem can be sorted out. Do not wait and sit on a problem. Well, having said that, is champion a Six Sigma like belt? Well, champion maybe himself or herself a white belt only, maybe a yellow belt only, maybe a green belt, maybe a black belt, maybe a master black belt himself or herself, or even none. You don't need to be a you don't need to be a Six Sigma professional to be a vice president or head of department. Six Sigma is an extra skill, extra training. Well, it's blessing to have a champion who is Six Sigma professional. And generally nowadays we find most of the champions are Six Sigma professionals. I do a lot of trainings, exclusive trainings only for CEOs and CXOs for Fortune 500 companies. I've been doing these are exclusive training, one-on-one training. They don't generally come into batches. So they have one-on-one training using the data. We work with them to teach them Six Sigma. So globally, there's a need which is going on. And like even right now, currently I'm working with a CEO of an organization, working with them to like, again, that's a black belt program going on. So technically there's an increasing awareness in the champions community that they need to understand this. It's a management tool. Six Sigma is a top-down approach. Management believes it, management runs and management drives it. Management would prepare strategy. So champions globally, we have seen an increasing demand in awareness around Six Sigma. So earlier it was not the case. We were generally dealing with champions who have heard about Six Sigma, but they've never done Six Sigma. They don't know Six Sigma themselves. Nowadays it's changing a lot. So you generally find people are black belt or master black belt at champions end. But yes, it's not a mandatory thing. Well, you can be a vice president or director or CEO without Six Sigma. It doesn't matter. And nowadays the needs are changing because they learn it and then they give projects to their team. Well, then they will get the training done for the team and then they would give them the project. So technically you cannot then fool them. They would know everything. So that's a need, and awareness is getting better and better. So that's pretty much how it works in case of belts. Now let me take a quick question here. Well, by the way, can champion and sponsor be the same person? Absolutely yes. Since some companies, champion and sponsor may be the same person. The CEO is the champion and CEO is the sponsor itself. So yes, these two designations can be same. But in a typical matured organization, you'll have two different separate roles in case of champion. Okay, is this course you can take or a recognition certificate? Which one? I didn't get which course. Are we talking about the Six Sigma? Which course we talking about? This is a proper certification one that we were looking at. Sorry, I guess
the master black belt.
Master black belt will happen. It's a proper certification course. Yes, so you will have to be a black. So see, technically you can directly go till a black belt. So you can skip the green belt portion. If you have experience, you can directly go to the master's program and you can go to a black belt, because technically, let me kind of give you a quick heads up. This is entire syllabus of Six Sigma. If you just cover up this portion, you can say this is, I'm a yellow belt. If you cover up till this portion, so from this portion till this portion, you say you covered the green belt portion. When you cover everything from scratch till the end, it's a black belt. So technically, when you're doing a black belt, you cover everything, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, everything gets covered. So in master black belt here, this is more into, in case of master black belt, you'll be learning more into design of experiment and you'll be learning more into project management. So, but yes, to get in there, you have to spend some time as a black belt doing some projects before you can get into the master black belt part. If you have experience, well, different institutions can have a similar program to get to a master black belt also. There are options available. So pretty much this is also nowadays doable, because there's no such rule that you cannot do a master black belt directly. Not directly, but yes, you have to go through the process. So you have to be a black belt before you go for master black belt, because then here you're not going to be taught the basics, stats and everything, because you will be expected to understand that. So you'll be more advanced level that you will be covered in this one. Is the green belt only efficient in moonlighting and like just getting extra role in addition to your own duty? See, technically, see, this is more from like how people kind of do it. Like generally, if you end up just taking a green belt, you will be only working within a particular department only. But yes, as a black belt, you will be, if you are like, when you complete the certification, it's important to make sure that organizations, the stakeholders are aware that you've done it. And yes, then you will be picked up by different resources, different stakeholders will get certain problems. So you might start working as shared resource between the various departments as black, and then eventually your role will switch over. If you're already working in an organization, your role will switch to a, if you don't have a proper Six Sigma department there, then you might want to create a, like gradually, then people will start giving you the responsibility to create your own team, and then gradually people will create a department. But to start with, generally green belts, but yes, green belts are good enough role to get started with a project, because all you need is understanding of doing one project once. That's it. Be it a green belt or black belt, well, the methodology doesn't change. Yes, the extent of statistical usage will definitely change there, but rest of it, concept of project will still remain the same, DMAC project, unless it's a DMA DV, which is slightly different. Is it okay and clear with everyone? Because
Sir,
that,
I have
yeah, please.
If I am focusing for a black belt, do I need to take the green belt first, or it will be I can go directly to the black belt?
See, you have to go see, when you're going through this master's program, green belt is required. So when you go for a green belt and then you go for a black belt, see, generally green belt is skipped only if you're an experienced person. Yes, in that condition, green belt can be skipped, and then you can directly give a black belt. But in a black belt program, any which ways you are going through, because in the master's program, it's everything is done from the scratch. So we'll learn everything from the beginning till the end. So all your green belt concepts will be covered. So technically you will be
go with the green belt, then to get black belt, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah. So again, that is what we have covered so far today, is more from an introduction, because tomorrow we'll be switching into the actual journey of Six Sigma, which is define phase. We'll pick up define phase. So, but let's, as we discussed, that we'll have a quick list of all the topics that we'll be covering. More from in every phase, I'll prepare a quick checklist of all the items. As I said, it's very difficult during job interviews. A lot of recruiters have shown immense dissatisfaction. People have taken up certification, they've written the exam, they passed the exam. If I ask you a topic, and the guy will be able to answer when explain me about the topic, but which tool will be applied in real world project, that sort of portion is missing. So we would try to kind of create a list, a checklist, sort of a flow chart for ourselves, which helps us understand what will be the sequence of tools used in a project. So if I have a layout, pretty much I can narrate a story, and that how I will start a project, how will I end a project. That's what is required. Okay, is Minitab the only tool where we get exposure? See, we will be using Excel. So let me quickly tell you, we will be using Excel also wherever possible. Excel will only help till a green belt level, because Excel has a lot of statistical tools inbuilt in it. We will explore all of those tools, whichever is what is possible in Excel. But when it comes to statistical software, it's very important to understand the default version of statistical software globally when it comes to Six Sigma is Minitab. But Minitab is very expensive. So yes, for training purposes, we will have 30 days of time period. You can complete this program, still use, because you will be able to utilize Minitab access for good those many days. when you have that understanding, pretty much it will be taken care of. In organization, you would be expected to understand. Let me show you, like I do a lot of trainings only for Minitab, and a lot of corporates have done this Minitab training. So I'll be sharing a Minitab training guide also. So I'll be sharing all this material so you know how to use Minitab and all that stuff. A lot of things, it gives you complete. So I'll be sharing a lot of data with you all. But having said that, a quick one, is the Minitab only option? No. There are people who are used. There are other softwares, other Excel-based plugin. There's Sigma Excel, which is there. It's an Excel-based paid plugin, but it is, I would say, second best. But there's two, like when you compare with Minitab, well, technically there's no comparison with Minitab as of now. When you start using Minitab, so there's a SPSS which is used in the market. We can use Tableau. There are other versions also, but when it comes to Six Sigma, the only specialized tool for Six Sigma is Minitab. Minitab is clear, crystal clear, meant for Six Sigma people. So I would highly recommend using this. The quality tools will be used in extensively. So Mr. Hamid, it will be used extensively. Seven quality control tools is very basic. What we are getting into is very, very advanced version. So yeah, 7 quality tools will definitely be used. I'll be sharing this sheet. Let me quickly, before we move ahead, I'll write down the state in this thing, but before we move ahead, I will quickly, let me just go ahead and share this link. Give me one quick moment. I'll share this link. I'll put that link in the WhatsApp group also. But this is the Google Drive link where I'll be sharing all these, like I'll be creating day-wise folder. That's the Google. Please save it, keep it handy. I'll which will share this in the Google. Let me show you what's there in this Google. Right now, there's nothing in there. This is the folder for this batch. So yes, I will be creating day-wise folder like today's, whatever, like we just use the Excel sheet. Going forward, I'll be sharing a lot of material also. So I'll save all the material in this day one folder. So all the material that I have. Vishnu, we will be doing a quick recap of that tomorrow, but just to kind of make sure that we can utilize the time, I'll share the list of the topics which we are going to be covering up tomorrow. A quick one. So we will be, before we start tomorrow's session, we'll do a quick recovery, recap of what we did today. So this is for define phase. Define phase, what we'll be covering up tomorrow. Quick skeleton of a project in define phase, how it goes through. Not tomorrow, but it'll be Monday. Yes. So Monday, we don't have a session tomorrow. First of all, we collect voice of customer. VOC stands for voice of customer. We'll learn about different methods, how to collect voice of customer. What is the customer complaining about? Then there is something called classify voice of customer. We use affinity diagram, a project management tool. Then we have to prioritize voice of customer, select a project, select the project. Now, there are various ways to select a project. We'll talk about Kano model. We'll talk about ISO 13053 2011 version. This is ISO standard for Six Sigma. There's weighted CTQ prioritization method. There are different methods. See, you cannot just say, well, I know one method. You should know multiple options and then you choose one. Bottom line, you should have options. That's what. So you should know multiple methods, select one of them. We'll learn how to go over and convert that. VOC, voice of customer, is converted to CTQ. CTQ stands for critical to quality, which is nothing other than KPI. And we use a tree diagram. Then we write a project charter. Most important element in the define phase is become an expert in writing project charter. We'll cover that up. After that, we have team selection. We will be preparing some project management tools, which is communication plan, AC or basic. And then we have FMEA, which is risk management. This is about roles and responsibility. we'll elaborate these topics. These are just a skeleton of defined phase, how a typical project will be created. When you start a project in real world, you'll have to go through this journey. So we just will go through, we'll learn it the way project actually flows. So you would not ever have a problem in understanding when to use what tool, and pretty much you'll have a flow of the topics right in front of you. So we'll go through this similar model and we'll elaborate. This is going to take some time. And yes, we will be covering it. So basically, this is what will start on Monday. Yes, and I'll be sharing this file along with the case studies that I have. Like I'll put that in the shared drive. I hope that's okay with everyone.
Yes, sir, it's perfect.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
So I guess that is all for today. Give me like another 5 minutes. I'll place all the files in the shared drive, and yes, so we can. I will still be. Please do connect on the WhatsApp in case you're not on the WhatsApp. Please just connect so we can still be connected whenever you have questions. Don't have to wait for the class. We can always get that clarified. Yes, Ms. Vijay, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Like here we have a 30 hours classroom for this green and black belt program. So
Right.
is it kind of a like IMC has this only 30 hours, or is it a standard of this all the training institutions are?
It is on higher side. So you will see institutions where it's getting done in lesser hours. So like this is an extent.
Yeah, in
So
recent days I have seen like some are doing in a very smaller sessions also. So
Yes,
is it
yes,
kind of a standard defined, or
no
is it
standard
IMC
defined.
has
No, so
only
see, this
set
has
up?
if this has been revised, and like so based on the need, based on the we're being a practitioner, we have to give a feedback as like so what is minimum required at least for us to cover up all the topics. If you have to go with a project-based model and you have to demonstrate, do practice all these things during the class, you need certain hours. So yes, it has evolved. Like so earlier we had lesser time frame also. But yes, it has been revised and it's been increased too. And if needed, I do at times end up taking a extra session also, just to if need, because it's not about it's not about the time which goes into. In the end, we want you to make sure that yes, you've understood the time that you invested should reap the benefits for you. It is done doing for everyone. So yes, the 30 hours is definitely the planned time, but yes, at times I do batch takes more time at times, so we might end up requesting for an extra session also in certain cases.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Right. So thanks everyone. Please take good care of your time yourself, and I'm just uploading this the files that we discussed, and I'll like and yes, if there's still anything left over, we can always touch base on the WhatsApp. Thanks everyone. Please take good care. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.